Good morning, everyone.
Bienvenidos a
City
todos,
Hall,
bienvenidos
welcome
al
to
Concilio
Council
de la
Chambers, and
Suprema
welcome to
Cámara
the
del
meeting of the
Concilio.
Los Angeles
Bienvenidos
City
a
Council for today, Friday, April
viernes
25th,
abril 26 del
2003. The City
2003.
Council
El
meets every
Concilio se
Tuesday,
junta cada
Wednesday,
martes,
and
miércoles
Friday
y
at 10
viernes a
a.m.
las 10 de la
Meetings
mañana.
are open to the public, and we invite you to join us. For members of the public unable to attend council
Los que
meetings, we
pueden venir a
can
la
be viewed live
conciliación
on your cable
lo
station,
pueden
channel
ver
35.
en el
You
canal
can also be
35
viewed live via webcast from the city's homepage or heard via council phone.
o irse por el teléfono del
It
Concilio.
is now
Ahorita ya son
10,
las
nearly
10.
10:20 a.m. We have 7 members present. We do need 10 for
Tenemos
a
10 para
quorum.
un quórum.
But this being Friday, as is
Como es
customary, we
bien de
have a
costumbre,
series of
tenemos una serie de
presentations and
presentaciones
special
y de
introductions scheduled.
presentaciones.
Let's begin
Vamos
today's
a empezar
meeting
con la
by
Junta de
recognizing
reconociendo al
Councilmember
concejal Garcetti.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Muchas gracias, señor
President.
presidente.
And a good Friday morning to everybody here, from my council colleagues as well as
Colegas
members of the
también como
public.
miembros del público.
Today it gives me
Hoy
great
me
joy
da
to be able to
gran
recognize one
felicidad
of those great
reconocer uno de los
community
grandes
bulwarks who really does
cámaras de
incredible,
comercio que hacen un gran,
sometimes
a
unheralded work in the
veces,
community, and is now
trabajo
celebrating
muy fuerte por lo que
35 years of
están
community service.
celebrando
Please
35
join
años,
me in
estén
welcoming the
conmigo
Hollywood
de
Sunset Free
Hollywood
Clinic.
Sunset Free Clinic.
We all know the struggle
Todos
for
sabemos
healthcare in America. We know
la
the struggle
batalla
for
por el,
healthcare in this city. And it
la
is
salud
remarkable
en la
when we
ciudad
have
y en
clinics
América
that literally will give healthcare to anybody who shows up simply because they believe that it is their right
que es su
and not a
derecho y
privilege.
no un privilegio.
Indeed, I think all of
Yo
us
creo
share
que
that
todos
sentiment, but
compartimos
we
ese
know that it
sentimiento,
takes
sabemos que toma
dedicated doctors,
doctores
nurses,
dedicados,
healthcare
enfermeras o
professionals,
profesionales
like those that
dedicados
run the
como esos que
Hollywood
corren,
Sunset Free Clinic,
los que
to
corren
make
la
sure
clínica de
that
la
everybody
Sunset
is
Free
able
libre
to
y que
take care of
todos puedan
themselves and their
cuidarse de
families when
sus
they are met
familias
with
cuando
hard and
están
difficult times.
tiempos
So many of us
dificultosos.
have driven
Muchos de
by
nosotros hemos
Sunset
manejado por la
Boulevard. Now
Sunset
there's a
Boulevard, ahora
giant
hay
3D heart right on the
un tres
side of
corazón
the
al lado
Sunset
de
Free Clinic.
la
But I've seen
clínica,
people
pero
lined
he
up.
visto
We've seen
líneas,
the mobile clinic that
la clínica móvil,
that the clinic
que
runs
la
as well. It
clínica
goes
come
out and
también que
administers
sale y
free health
administra
care to some of
cuidado
our
gratis
neediest
para los
residents in Los
residentes en
Angeles.
Los
And works
Ángeles.
very closely
Y
with our
trabajamos
homeless
cerca de la
population to make sure
población de
that folks,
indigentes,
even though they
la
don't have a
gente
home,
aunque
can
no
still
tiene
look
una casa
after their
pueden
health. They've done
cuidarse
some
solo. Hay
pioneering things
unas
like
cosas
helping
pioneras
many
también, ayudar a
of our
muchos
young
que
people
nuestra
who want
gente
to
joven
turn
que
away
querían
from a life of
una
perhaps
vida de
affiliation with a gang to be
afiliación
able
con
to remove their
pandillas para
tattoos.
quitarse los
I myself
tatuajes.
have been a
Yo
proud
también
supporter of them
soy
from before I came
porque
to
yo antes de
council
venir
office, and I'm really proud to have them in
orgulloso de
the
tenerlos
district.
en el
But they really
distrito,
serve
pero de
people
veras
from
sirve a
throughout
la
the
gente por
city
toda la
and
ciudad
throughout the
y
county.
por todo el
Also at
condado.
a time
También
when we
un
know that
tiempo que
there's
sabemos que
cutbacks at the county and the state level
están
for
cortando
healthcare. This is
por
a
el
real
cuidado de
crisis
salud,
here.
es una crisis,
And
un
as
año de
people
mucha
can no
ayuda, como
longer
ya no
enter any
puede entrar a
official
cualquier
system of healthcare,
sistema
we
de
depend more and
oficial
more on our clinics.
dependemos
So
de
whether
nuestras
it's the Hollywood
clínicas,
Sunset
sea
Free
Hollywood
Clinic, find your
Clínica,
neighborhood clinic,
encuentre
whatever
esa
it is, and make
clínica
sure that
y
you
estén
dig deep
seguros
in your
de
pockets this year and do what you
que
can to help
duro
them,
con sus
because
bolsillos y
it's a year that we
ayudarlos, porque
really
es año
need
que
that
deberíamos
help. So
nuestra
I'm going to
ayuda,
ask
entonces voy a pedir
Tacy to step up,
Tacy
who's
que
the
se pare,
executive
que viaje
director of the
ejecutiva
clinic.
directa
I want to also read out names of
la
other folks
clínica,
that are
voy a leer
here.
otros nombres que están aquí.
Tacy's also known as
También se
Teresa
conoce como Teresa
Padua, is
Padua,
here,
está aquí.
and she is here with many other
Y está
folks,
aquí
some
con
of
muchas
whom are
otras
Alexander
gentes que
Laird,
son
Secretary, Anita
secretario.
Lengua, Migdalia Rosado Roberts, Maureen Spell,
Está
William
leyéndose la
Bill,
lista de las personas que están presentes.
and Susan Meyer. So with that, I'm going to
Con
turn it
eso voy
over
a
to Tacy to say a few things about the clinic.
Tacy para decir unas cuantas cosas de la clínica.
Thank you, Eric.
Muchas gracias, Eric.
In
En
1968, when the Hollywood
1968, cuando
Sunset
el
Free
Hollywood
Clinic
Free
started,
Clinic
just a
empezó,
group
un
of
grupo de
doctors
de
and
doctores y
counselors that wanted
consejeros
to be
que
able to
querían
provide
poder
free health
proveer
care
cuidado
to those in our
gratis para todos en
community
nuestra
that
comunidad
were
que
uninsured
no estaban
and had no
asegurados
other
y no
place to
tenían otro
go.
lugar a donde ir.
Back in
En
1968,
1968,
I'm sure we had
estoy
no
seguro que no
idea
teníamos
that
idea
now, in
que ahora en el
2003,
2003
there would be 3
habría
million
3
people
millones de
in Los
gentes en Los
Angeles
Ángeles
that need
que
free health
necesitan
care.
cuidado gratis de salud.
Healthcare is at a
Cuidado
crisis.
de salud está
And
en una
we are one of the
crisis.
few
Nosotros somos una de
clinics
las
that are
cuantas
still open.
clínicas que todavía estamos abiertas.
We appreciate
Nosotros apreciamos
the council
al
recognizing
Concilio
us.
reconociéndonos.
You have been
Ustedes,
supported in the past. And we
soportadores en
need
el
your
pasado y
support
nos
more
damos su
than ever,
soporte ahora más
because
que nunca,
now
porque
we
ahora
still believe,
todavía
as in
creemos que en
1968, that
1968 que el
healthcare is
cuidado de
a
salud
basic
es
human right,
un derecho
and it
básico
should be for
humano
all
y
people
debe ser
that
para
have
toda
no
la
health
gente que no tiene
insurance.
seguro de
Thank
salud.
you very much.
Gracias.
Thank you all. I also want to recognize a few people who couldn't join us today. Elizabeth Christensen, David Glazer, Melvin Nunez, Terry Saunders, Randolph Taylor, and Alberto Valdivia. And I'd like to, we have certificates for everybody here with those names. We're going to do them in the back, and I'm just going to present this one. The certificate of appreciation for your 35 years providing medical counseling and related services to the residents of Echo Park, Silver Lake, East Hollywood, and downtown. Thank you from all of us for all that you do. Thank you, Mr.
Gracias, señor
President.
presidente.
Next, I'd like to
Ahora
invite
me
the
gusta
Atwater
invitar al
Village
Water
Neighborhood
Village
Council
Concilio
to
de
join us. Some of the folks who are
algunos de
here
las gente
today,
que están
Lynn
hoy aquí, Lynn
Mencon,
Mencon,
Leonor
Leonor
Solis,
Solís,
Alisa Aballera, Mark Waldner,
Mark
Lisa
Waldner,
Waldner,
Lisa
Jeff
Waldner,
Gardner,
Jeff Gardner,
Roberta Javier, Rebecca Rudolph,
Rebecca
Colin
Rudolph,
Thompson,
Colin
and Laura
Thompson, y Laura
McLaughlin.
McLaughlin.
I often very
Último
fondly
seguido,
say that Atwater
que a
Village is
veces
the heart
Atwater
of the
Village
13th
es el
district. And I know I say
corazón
that
del
risking all the other neighborhoods being offended.
y riesgo que se
Atwater
ofendan los
Village is a
otros
really
distritos,
special part
pero
of
es una
Los
parte de
Angeles,
Los
and if you
Ángeles.
haven't spent
Y
time
si no
there,
se pasó
get
tiempo
there
ahí,
in a
lleguen
hurry.
ahí.
It's located just
Está
between the
localizado
LA River and San Fernando Road, on the north bordered by
y el
Glendale,
río de
on
Los
the
Ángeles,
south
el lado
by the
del
2
río por el
freeway.
Freeway 2.
But Atwater Village
Pero el Water
Neighborhood
Village,
Council
el concilio
was
del vecindario, digo los números son
62, the 62nd
62
Neighborhood Council to be certified. And these leaders who are doing everything from streetscape improvements to working on parks and commercial spaces, looking at making Atwater Village a safer place, as you remember, in North Atwater Village, where many members of the community came together about a year and a half ago when over 13 people were killed, probably were suspected by Timothy McGee, the person who was profiled in Los Angeles Times.
en el periódico
Even
Los
though that was an
Ángeles, aunque
aberration
eso
for
fue una
Atwater
aberración
Village,
para
I
el
think
Water
this is a
Village, yo
neighborhood
creo
that
que
is
es un
known by
vecindario que ha sido
its
conocido
close-knitted
como muy
residents,
cercano
its
de los
diverse
residentes,
population,
la población
and a place that
diversa y
really
un lugar
represents
donde
kind
veras
of Middle
representa
America. It looks
Media
like
América, parece
a
como
place
que es
that
un lugar.
many of us see in
Muchos de
movies,
nosotros vemos en
but we wonder
películas,
if it
pero
still
no
exists in
todavía
Los
existe en
Angeles.
Los Ángeles.
The beautiful homes and the
Los casas
apartments and
amarillas
the
y los
upkeep that
apartamentos
people
que lo
have
mantienen
there
bien
is really a
tienen
tremendous
es un
neighborhood.
tremendo
And I
vecindario.
really want to congratulate them for being the 62nd Neighborhood Council and joining that force of neighborhood councils that is changing the face
Entonces,
of
con
Los
esa
Angeles.
fuerza de
I don't
concilios
know
que
if you guys
cambian
have selected one
la
person
cara
to
de
speak,
Los
but I'd
Ángeles,
love
pero
Lin
me
Min
gusta
to come up and
que viniera
to say a brief thing
y que diera
about the neighborhood council, and then
palabras
I'll
del
present the
concilio
list.
del
Before we hear
vecindario.
from them, another
Vamos a
champion
ir
of
al
that
otro
same
cambio de
neighborhood,
ese vecindario.
Councilmember Labange.
Concejal Labange, gracias, presidente, muchas gracias. Yo represento a todos los caballos en Atwater Village, porque ellos están, la frontera viene a todos los establos ahí.
Working with
Estoy
you on
esperando
issues
trabajar con
related
usted
to
en
the
cuestiones
equestrians
relacionadas a
in Griffith
los
Park and our master plan in
caballos.
Los Angeles River. And
Porque
I proposed to my wife on the
yo le
banks of the
propuse
LA River in Atwater
yo
Village.
le
Bought my first
propuse
home in Atwater Village.
en Atwater Village, fue mi primera casa.
Atwater Village has a
Atwater
very
Village
On the plaque, Mr. LeBlanc.
trabajando en la
Thank
placa.
you very much.
Muchas
Eric.
gracias.
But no, I just want to
Pero
thank you.
nomás quiero dar las
It is,
gracias,
as they say, a heart.
como
Every
dice,
neighborhood has a heart.
todo tiene un
And,
corazón,
Atwater
todos
has a
los
great
lugares
heart
tienen un
and a
gran
great
corazón, una
history.
gran
And what
historia,
you're
y
all
lo que
doing
ustedes están
now
haciendo
to take
para
advantage of
tomar
what's
ventaja
happening on
de
the
lo que
Los
está
Angeles
pasando
River,
en el río de
connecting
Los
Griffith
Ángeles,
Park, working with
conectando
the
Griffith
commerce.
Park, trabajando
It's a
con
great
comercio, es
little
un gran
district that I'm proud to
distrito
work
que
with
estoy
Eric
orgulloso de
on, and
trabajar
we are
con
now
Eric, y
widening
ahora
the Hyperion
estamos
Bridge, as Eric may have told
anchezando
you,
el
and we're going to
puente,
restore it to its
y
grandeur,
vamos a
so everybody will be
restaurarla a
happy.
su
Anyway,
grandeza.
thank you all
Ahorita estoy
very
feliz
much,
de todas
Eric, for
maneras.
bringing everybody
Muchas
down to
gracias
the
a todos
neighborhood
por
council.
venir al concilio del vecindario. Gracias.
Thank you, council members.
Muchas
I'd like
gracias,
to first
consejeros. Primero
thank
me
the
gustaría
council
dar
for
las
your
gracias al
support of
Consejo
all the
por
neighborhood
tu
councils and
soporte al
increasing
Consejo,
democracy here in Los Angeles, and
aumentando la
truly hearing
democracia
the
aquí en
voice
Los
of the
Ángeles,
people.
viendo la voz de la
In particular, I'd
gente.
like to
Me
thank
gusta
Councilmember
darle
Labange and
gracias al Labange, al
Councilmember
concejal
Garcetti for your
Garcetti
full and
por su
undying support, and we appreciate that.
soporte. Y
I think that
yo
everyone
creo que
here
todos aquí
truly loves and feels
veras
passionately
quiere y se
about
siente
Atwater
apasionado
Village.
Atwater Village.
We've had people who've
Las
lived there
emociones que he
who are
vivido ahí
on the
por-
formation
en
committee
la
for over
formación
30
de- son
years.
más de 30 años.
Atwater Village is a
Atwater
very
es muy
eclectic and a very passionate
ecléctico
and
y
activist
apasionado,
community.
comunidad activista.
This is a culmination
Es
of
una
our efforts
combinación de
of
nuestros
over 3
esfuerzos de
years, and
3
we're
años, y
excited and
estamos
thrilled
excitados y
to push it forward
orgullosos
with
de
our
empujarlo con
elections and to
nuestra
have the
selección y
voice of our
tener la voz de nuestra
community
comunidad
represented.
representada. Gracias.
With that, if you'll
Con
please
eso,
join
sí,
me in
por favor,
welcoming our
permítanme darle las
62nd
gracias al
Neighborhood Council,
62º
which was
Consejo
officially
de la
recognized on February
vecindario
11,
que fue reconocido en
2003. Congratulations, Atwater Village.
Felicitaciones a
You earned it.
Atwater Village.
Lastly, colleagues,
último,
I'd
colegas,
like to make a
me gusta hacer una
presentation today for
presentación
a
para
program
programa
that has really
que de veras
redefined how
redefine
this
cómo
city
es que
can
esta
reach
ciudad
out to its
puede
young people
alcanzar a
and
su
make
gente
sure that we
joven
all
y
have
estar
a ladder
seguros que
for
todos tenemos
opportunity
una
and
escalera
education.
para
It's the
oportunidad
Free Cash
de
for College
educación.
program.
Es el
And
efectivo para
the mayor
colegio.
and others will be
El
joining
alcalde
us
y otros van a
shortly
estar con
to
nosotros
recognize
para
that. Here he comes
reconocer
right
eso aquí.
now.
Ahorita viene
Please
ya.
welcome the
Por
mayor
favor,
of Los
denle
Angeles,
un
Mr. James
aplauso
Hahn.
al alcalde de la ciudad, James Hahn.
The individuals that we're
Estos
honoring
individuos que
today,
estuvimos siendo
as
honorados
they
hoy,
come
como
in,
cuando vayan entrando.
Russell or Rusty
Son
Hammers, he's known the
Hammers,
president and the
conoce el
CEO
presidente, el
of
CEO
the Los Angeles
de
Area
Los
Chamber of
Ángeles,
Commerce and who is
Cámara de
chairman of the
Comercio de
task
Los
force
Ángeles,
that set up
de
the
la
Free Cash
fuerza
for
que
College
hizo
program.
programa
Dr.
para
Harry
efectivo,
Pachon, who's the
gracias
executive
Eric Pachón
director of the
del
Tomas
director
Rivera
ejecutivo de
Institute,
Tomás, el
Policy
Instituto
Institute,
Rivera,
who's represented,
que
I think, today
representa
by
hoy por
Dr. Louis
Dr. Luis
Tomatsky,
Tomatsky.
Mitch Menzer
Mitch
from
Menzer,
our own city planning
también
department, as well
departamento
as
de
of Melanie and Meyer,
planeamiento.
Stan Hebert, the executive
Hebert,
director of the Greater
director
Los
de
Angeles
Los
African American
Ángeles
Chamber of Commerce,
de Comercio.
Joseph Haggerty, the
Joseph
president of the
Haggerty, el
Greater Los
presidente
Angeles
del Gran
United
Los
Way,
Ángeles United Way,
represented today by Keith
representando
Green,
ahora por Keith
and Alan
Green,
Arkatoff, the
y
chairman
ahora,
of the California
de
Post-Secondary
por
Education
secundaria
Commission.
de Comisión.
Also today, Rusty
También
Hammer will be
Rusty Hammer
presenting
va a estar
Annabelle
presentando
Jimenez with a $1,000 scholarship on
una
behalf
beca
of the Free Cash for College
del
project.
proyecto
Her name
de
was picked from random from students who attended the
una
Free Cash for
lotería que
College
fueron
Day.
el día
For
de
those who haven't seen in the
dinero
media,
gratis para el
the
colegio.
amazing effect that this
Es el
program
efecto
had,
que tiene
really
este programa.
led by
Fue
a tremendous
llevado por un
deputy mayor
tremendo
for
alcalde,
economic
diputado
development,
del
Joy Chen, for
desarrollo.
workforce development, excuse me. The Free Cash for College project was
El
sponsored by
proyecto
the
de
Mayor's
dinero
Office of
efectivo
Workforce Development Unit.
fue formado por
In
el
August
alcalde en agosto de
2002, the
2002.
Mayor created the
El
Los
alcalde
Angeles
creó
LA Free Cash
el
for
Free
College
Cash,
project to
el
help
proyecto
LA
para
families to
efectivo
get
dinero
college
para
financial aid. We saw a problem that Los Angeles
ingreso,
wasn't
ayuda.
recognizing or wasn't realizing its
Que no estaba dando su
potential in
potencial
getting
en
some of our
reducir algo a
students,
nuestros
our sons
estudiantes,
and
a nuestros
daughters, our
hijos e hijas,
grandkids into
nuestros
college and getting the
nietos y
financial
tener
aid
el
that would help
dinero,
them get
ayuda
there.
que podían llegar
So he
ahí.
convened, the mayor
Entonces él
convened a
hizo,
task force of
hizo un alto
individuals
equipo de
representing
individuos
business,
representando negocios,
education, labor,
educación,
community-based
trabajo,
organizations, and government leaders from
líderes
throughout
del
Los
gobierno por
Angeles.
todos Los
We're committed to
Ángeles,
working together to make sure
para
that we
trabajar
build
juntos
that
para estar seguros
workforce
que
of the
trabajan en
21st
ese
century.
trabajo.
Together, the mayor's office and the task force
En el
produced two major
produjeron
events,
dos
and they were
eventos
wildly
mayores.
successful. The first was the
Entonces, el
College and
primero
Career
fue
Convention
Career
held on
Convention
Thursday,
que se
Friday,
hizo
and
el
Saturday
martes,
mornings, November
sábado,
7th
domingo.
through 9th,
El 9 para
2002. It drew over
hizo más de
10,000
10,000
students.
estudiantes.
Just imagine that. When you
Más
think about how
imagínense
often we
cuando
try to
te
get a few
seguido
people out
tiene
to a
unas
community
cuantas
meeting,
gentes, se van a juntar
10,000
con
students
10,000
showed up
antes de llegar.
over the three-day
De los
period.
periodos
The mayor
tres.
attended the first day of the
El
event,
alcalde
cut
estuvo
the
el
opening
primer día del
ribbon, and
evento
the
y
second
cortó
event
el
was a Free Cash for College Day held on
listo
Saturday,
y que se
February
hizo
1st of
febrero
this year.
23
An
de
event
este año, un
involved
evento
assisting
bien
families
de
actually fill out
hombres asistieron
and return
y
college
regresaron
financial aid applications.
ayuda
I want to thank the
financiera
members of
de
my
los
staff. I'm
solicitudes.
sure
Quiero
other
dar las
council
gracias a
offices
mi
had a lot of
equipo que
members of
tuvo
their
muchos
staff too
miembros
who
de su
really
equipo de
volunteered their
veras.
time,
Quiero
community
montar
members,
con
to make
miembros de la
sure
Cámara
that
para
the
estar
human
seguros de
relationship between a
relaciones
student and
públicas a los
yourself
estudiantes
happens so
ustedes
that those
pasen para que
applications were filled out and
solicitudes se
so that
llenaran
money
y
which
para
is
que ese
already
dinero
out
que
there
ya
from the
está ahí
state
del
actually
Estado
started flowing into the
empiece a
city.
fluir a la
It was
ciudad.
conducted at over
Fue conducido
35
por
high school
35
sites
secundarias
simultaneously throughout the city,
simultáneamente por
and
toda
over
la ciudad.
1,200 students attended these workshops
tuvieron estos
citywide.
trabajos por
The
toda la ciudad.
recipients of the
Los
resolutions
recipientes de
distinguished
los
themselves through their commitment and their hard work.
corazón
I'd
duro.
like to hear first
Su
from the
trabajo
mayor
duro,
of the city,
primero
James
por
Hahn,
el
about
alcalde
this,
de la
but
ciudad, James Hahn,
congratulations
pero
to everybody who
felicitaciones a
made this
todos
such
que
an
hicieron
incredible
eso.
success. We're proud to honor
Éxito,
you
estamos
today.
orgullosos de
Mayor Hahn.
honorarlos, alcalde Hahn. Gracias.
Mr. President,
Señor
members of the
presidente,
council,
miembros
thank
del
you,
Consejo,
Councilman
gracias
Eric
al
Garcetti, for
consejero Eric
those
Garcetti
kind
por
words.
esas palabras.
We did
Nosotros
identify a problem here in
entramos en
Los
un problema
Angeles,
que en
that
Los
we
Ángeles
had
que
one of
tuvimos
the lowest
uno de los
education levels for
niveles
adult
bajos
workforce of
de
any place in
educación
the country.
en cualquier parte
And we
del
found out one of
país.
the
Y
big
encontramos
problems
uno de los
was
problemas
a lot of
era que
people
mucha
thought
gente
that their
crea
dream
que
of going
su
to college
sueño de ir a la
was something they
universidad
couldn't
era algo
achieve
que no
because they
podían
couldn't
llegarse
afford it.
porque no podían
And
pagarlo.
when we,
Y cuando nosotros
looked at it and
lo
were aware
vimos
of
y
the
estuvimos nos
opportunities
dimos cuenta de
presented
esto,
by the
pero
Cal Grants program and other sources of financial aid, we said we've got to connect these young
tenemos que
people
conectar a esta gente
to
joven
something like the
para
Cal
algo
Grants
como
program
el
so
programa
that they
Cal
can
Grants para que
realize
ellos
their
puedan
dreams.
darse cuenta de sus
And
sueños.
we're very grateful to the
Entonces
individuals
estamos
who
muy
are going to be honored here
agradecidos de
today
los
for
ciudadanos
helping
que
us
van a
put
hacer
this
una
together.
razón que
Again,
nos
I'm
ayuden
glad
a
that
poner esto
Councilman
junto. Estoy feliz de que el señor
Garcetti
Garcete recomendó
great work that
el gran trabajo que
Deputy Mayor for
el
Workforce
diputado de la
Development, Joy
alcaldía
Chen, did in pulling this together,
hizo
but
para hacer
we
esto.
want to honor the
Pero que
people
mencionar
who
a la
helped us.
gente que nos
Rusty
ayuda,
Hammer,
Rusty Hammer,
who was
que
president,
fue presidente
CEO
del
of
CEO
LA Chamber of
de
Commerce,
LA
who was
Chamber
the
of
chair
Commerce, que fue el
of our Free
presidente
Cash for
de
College Task Force.
College.
Dr. Harry
el Dr.
Pachon,
Harry
President
Pachon,
Tomas
presidente de
Rivera
Thomas
Policy
Rivera
Institute.
Policy Institute.
Dr. Pachon's
Dr.
work
Pachon,
along
el trabajo
with
con
Dr. Lou
el Dr.
Tornatsky,
Lou
who is
Tornatsky, que
here. Dr.
estuvo
Pachon was
aquí.
vice
Pachon
chair
fue
of the task
presidente
force, but
del
Dr.
trabajo
Tornatsky
Tornatsky.
and Dr.
El Dr.
Pachon
Pachon
pointed out this issue in a
esta
great
cuestión
paper
y
that they
gran
did and
papel que
identified the
hicieron
problem here
identificar
in
el
Los
problema aquí en Los
Angeles.
Ángeles.
Thank you very much.
Muchas
To
gracias.
Mitch Menzer,
Mitch
who's
Menzer,
partner
que es
of
para
Maloney and
asociado
Myers.
de Wallen
Thank
Myers.
you
Gracias
for all the work
por
that
el
you've
trabajo
done.
que ustedes han hecho.
Stan Hebert, who's
Stan
Executive
Hebert,
Director of the
ejecutivo
Greater
directivo
LA
del Gran
African
Los
American
Ángeles
Chamber of
Afroamericana
Commerce. Stan,
Cámara de Comercio. Gracias.
Joe Haggerty,
Joe
President of the
Haggerty,
United Way
presidente
of Greater
del
Los
United Way de
Angeles, who
Los
put out a
Ángeles,
great
que puso
report
gran reporte,
really describing that why
describiendo
Los
por qué
Angeles
Los
has
Ángeles
become
ha
the poverty
sido una
capital of the United
capital
States
de pobreza de los Estados Unidos,
because
porque
the jobs that are
los
being created in
trabajos
this
que han
new
sido creados de
economy
esta
are
economía
jobs
son
that are
trabajos que están creados por graduados de
and that's what
universidad.
we wanted
Y es lo que
to make
queríamos
our LA
hacer nuestros residentes de Los Ángeles, residentes de colegio. Está representado Keith Green, vicepresidente de administración de United Way. Muchas gracias, Keith.
And the president
El
of the Commission
presidente de la
of Children,
Comisión
Youth
de
and
Children,
Families,
Juventud y
Alan
Familias, Alan
Arkansas, thank
Arkansas.
you.
Gracias.
And we're also very
También
pleased to be
estamos
joined
orgullosos de estar con
by a special guest
un
honoree
invitado
here
especial
today,
honorado hoy,
someone who has been
alguien que
a
ha sido
legendary figure
una
in
figura
California
legendaria de
politics,
política,
State Senator John
senador del estado,
Vasconcellos,
John Vasconcellos,
instrumental in LA Free Cash for College. He was the father of the Cal Grants program,
Cal
we're
Grants
glad
program.
that he's here
Por eso que
today
está
as well.
hoy también aquí.
Again, this
Otra vez,
appreciate very much that we
apreciamos
were able to
mucho que
honor these
pudimos honrar
individuals.
estos
Appreciate all
individuos,
the hard
apreciamos
work that
el
they did
trabajo
this
duro que
year.
hicieron
This
este
is the
año.
first year
Este es el primer
we've done
año
Free
que hemos
College.
hecho,
We want to make
porque
it
los
an
queremos
annual
hacerlo
event.
un
Thank you
evento
very
anual.
much.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Mr.
Muchas
President.
gracias, presidente, señor Holden.
President,
El
members, I
presidente
just want
miembros
to
más quería yo
congratulate all these
felicitar a todos
individuals
estos
who
individuos que
participated in this
participaron en este Free Cash for College,
program.
este programa.
A number of
El
students in
número
my
de estudiantes en mi
district
distrito
did, in fact,
se beneficiaron.
My staff,
Mi
Lisa
equipo,
Paye,
Lisa Paye,
coordinated the event
coordinó
at
el
Dorsey
evento
High
que
School.
Dorsey High School.
And they worked out
Y
very well.
trabajaron
An
muy
all-day
bien, fue toda una
session,
sesión de todo el
really
día,
well
de verdad
advertised.
bien
Students and their parents did
anunciada.
attend the
Los
workshop
estudiantes trabajaron
and
en el
did
trabajo,
make their
hicieron
application.
solicitud,
I'm sure many of
y
them
hicieron
will
muchos
receive
de ellos van a
cash for college.
recibir Cash for College.
In those families
En
that
esas
would not
familias que
otherwise
de
have
otra
an
manera no hubieran tenido la
opportunity
oportunidad
to
para
attend.
asistir.
Tremendous
Un
program.
programa
And all you
tremendo
should
y
be
todos deben de estar
congratulated.
felicitados, el alcalde,
Mr. Garcetti,
el señor
and
Garcetti
all
y todos
who are
los
here
que
today.
honoran a él.
I'd like to take a
Quiero
personal
tomar
privilege
un
to
privilegio
acknowledge
para
my dear
reconocer a mi
friend,
querido amigo
former colleague,
y colega
served in the
anterior,
California
que sirve en el
Legislature and
legislativo
Assembly,
en la Asamblea,
when I was in the
cuando
California
yo estaba
State
en el
Senate.
Senado de California.
Vasconcellos. John,
González,
that's you're rather related to me. You look alike.
parece a mí.
Oh, yeah. Did you say John
No dijo,
Vasconcellos?
yo Vasconcelos.
Are you related to John
¿Usted dice
Vasconcellos?
Vasconcelos?
Yeah, my eyes are failing. Anyway, John
Oyendo
Vasconcellos,
Jess
was a guy
Vasconcelos,
who,
el que
for many years,
por muchos años
served his people in the
sirvió
state of
como
California. He helped us in so many ways.
para esto nos ha ido tanto, era progresivo, activista
In the legislature.
en la
But
legislatura.
there are those
Y
who
cuando hay
took a
otros que
position that
tomaron
was
una
not
posición que no era
reflected what the needs
reflexiva
were
de las
in our
necesidades de
community.
nuestra
In terms
comunidad
of
en términos de
education, in terms of
educación, en
healthcare,
términos de
in
cuidado de
terms of
salud, en
jobs and
términos de
opportunities.
trabajos y oportunidades.
All other kind of
Todos los
benefits.
otros que los beneficios
Vasconcellos be standing
Vasconcelos debe
alone,
estar parado ahí solo,
fighting for you,
peleando por ustedes,
even though you are
aunque
not from
no
this
es de su distrito.
John, I'll always
Sean,
remember
yo siempre voy a
what
recordarlo
you've done
por lo
for
que ha
people
hecho
of
por
this
la
state.
gente de este
I'll always
estado.
appreciate it
Siempre voy a
wherever I
apreciar
go,
cuando
echo
quiera a ECHO.
those good thoughts.
Esos
Now I'm
buenos
gonna give you a big
pensamientos.
hand.
Voy a
You
dar un gran
deserve to stand
aplauso
up, John.
siempre.
Before, actually, we have
Antes
more
de que
members wanting to
citemos
be
más
heard.
miembros
Ms.
que
Perry.
nos soliciten a Perry.
Thank you, Mr.
Muchas
Mr.
gracias,
President. I
Presidente.
want to
Yo
also extend my
también extender mis
congratulations to the mayor and
felicitaciones al
his fine
alcalde y
team.
gran
And
equipo.
I'd like to make a
Me es
suggestion
una
that when we do this
sugerencia cuando hagamos
next
esto
year,
el
I think
próximo
you ought
año
to
que
raise
deben
the
de
bar a
levantar
little bit
la
and
barra
make
un
all these
poquito más.
council
Estos
members
miembros
work
del
harder
Consejo
for this
trabajan más
program
duro para este
too.
programa
And maybe
para
you can have a
pueden
contest
tener
for us
un
to see who can recruit the greatest number of
concurso para ver
students
quién
per
agarra
district
más
to get
estudiantes
some
por
cash for
distrito para
college.
agarrar
So thank you
Cashford
very
College.
much.
Muchas gracias.
Mr. Reyes.
Señor Reyes.
Thank you, Council President. First, I want to
Quiero
congratulate and
felicitar
thank
y
you,
dar las gracias
Mayor,
al alcalde.
all the council members have been
Los
contributing to
concejales que
this
están
effort.
contribuyendo a este esfuerzo.
When you look at the
Cuando ven a la
population,
población
demographics of
demográficas
the
del
number of
número de
students
estudiantes
that are Latinos
que son
in the school
latinos
district.
en el distrito de la escuela.
And when you look at the
Y
other end of the
cuando ven a los
pipeline,
otros
and you look at how many
de la
actually entering
pipa cuando
college,
están entrando al
I believe
colegio,
the
creo que
statistic is
las
a dismal
estadísticas
1%
un presentismo
of the total
de
population
toda la
actually
población
reaching higher
llega a la
education
educación alta.
at a graduate level.
El nivel
college
graduado,
level
el nivel de
is just as
colegio es
bad.
donde está tan también.
So this is a
Entonces,
dire need we
es
have
una ironía que
in a
tenemos
city
en
that
la
is
ciudad
going
que
through
va
metamorphosis
pasando
in its own demographic
metamorfosis
makeup, ability to prepare our workforce, ability to
nuestra
work,
fuerza para preparar,
establish a professional
establecer
presence among
presencia
communities,
profesional en las necesidades de la comunidad va a requerir educación y por eso les doy las gracias por dejar esa oportunidad y por
letting everyone
dejar a
know
todos saber que el diario que tenemos, el sistema de soporte que todavía necesita ser puesto en lugar para llegar a esto que tenemos en educación. Muchas gracias.
Mr. Lamonge.
Señor Lamancho. Gracias, señor presidente, miembros. Nada más, como estamos aquí, la presidenta está pasando mi correo ya que es una persona joven que escribe una carta para mí y me pidió ayuda para ir a la universidad ahorita. Entonces está bien que el alcalde y su equipo puestos juntos, Eric.
Jan, he may
Él
live in
a
your
lo mejor vive en
district,
su
so I'll give
distrito,
credit
entonces
if
voy
we
a dar
have that
crédito si
contest.
tenemos ese
But I want to
concurso,
help
pero quiero ayudar a
Thomas W. Pettit
W. Pérez.
and help him get to
Ayudarlos
Charles
a
to
Charles por
university.
su
So
universidad.
it's a very good
Entonces, un
program. And I
gran
also want to
programa.
thank
Te doy
Joey
las
Chen
gracias, Chen,
for your
por
work
su trabajo
and
y
inspiration
su
in this. And
inspiración
each and
en
every
este
one of
también
you,
todos
and Alan,
ustedes.
you're here every day.
También
I
está
think
aquí
you
todo
should join the
deben de
mayor's
estar
staff. But
el equipo del
I just think it's so
pero
important
yo creo que
because
es tan
college
importante
did
que
for
lo
me,
lo que hizo para mí.
gave me everything.
Me dio todo.
Athletics is what made me want to go to
Atlético me dio
college.
que ir
And then
al colegio.
after I found out I
Después
wasn't that
encontré
good of
que
an
no está
athlete,
tan buen
I
atleta.
had great teachers who
Unos
taught me how
maestros que me
to study,
enseñaron cómo
how to
estudiar,
write,
cómo
and
escribir
how to
y
understand
cómo
people.
entender a la
So
gente.
this kind of
Entonces, esta
program,
clase
all
de
we should do
programa
as
siempre debe
elected
ser
officials
los
and
oficiales
business leaders
electos
is try to
y
do what was
líderes de
done for us.
negocios lo que hizo
And this is
para
a great
para nosotros un
program,
gran
Mayor. I thank you.
programa.
And Mayor,
Alcalde,
if there's
mucho
anything
alcalde,
the
es algo
council
que
could
el
do
club puede hacer.
extra, let us know.
Extra,
And I
dejo
like
nuestro
what
me
Jan said
gustaron lo
about
que Jan dijo.
a way of raising
Una
it
manera de
up
levantarlo
for
para
all the
todos.
young people.
La gente joven, muchas gracias.
Mr. President and
Señor
members of the
presidente, miembros del
council,
concilio,
I want
yo
to
quiero
thank you for
dar
your
las gracias
comments. You
por sus
have all, the
comentarios
mayor
siempre,
and
el alcalde y
Councilman
tu concejal
Garcetti have
García
spoken
te
much
han
more
hablado
eloquently
mucho
than I can
elocuentemente lo que yo
about this
puedo para
program.
este programa.
I want to first
Yo quiero
extend my
primero
thanks
extender
to
mis
all the folks that
gracias
are
a toda la
behind me
gente
who
que está
worked
en
very
el programa,
hard
que trabajaron
on
muy
putting this
duro
program
poner este
together, to the
programa
hundreds
juntos,
of
a los
volunteers
cientos de
who came
voluntarios
out in
que
November
salieron en
and in
noviembre y en
February,
febrero,
to the
pero
community-based
lo que más
organizations
se
and all of
me
those
todos
that
esos
supported
que
this very,
soportaron
very
este
worthwhile program
programa,
that made
que
opportunities
hizo una
available
oportunidad
for
disponibles
Los
para
Angeles
Los
area young people
Ángeles
to get money they
para llegar
need
dinero
to
que
go to
necesitan para
college.
ir al colegio.
We all know how
Todos
important it
sabemos
is,
que
and
tan
that's why it was
importante
so
es, por
easy
eso
for
es tan
us
fácil
to
para
get people to
nosotros a
rally
la gente
behind this
atrás de
cause.
esta causa.
But you thank
Pero
us
usted
today
que
for
nos
the
da las
work that
gracias
we
por el
did.
trabajo que
What we
hacemos,
really
pero
need
de
to
verdad
do is
necesitamos
extend our
hacer
thanks
extender
to the
nuestras
mayor.
gracias al alcalde.
Because you hear
Porque
mayors
cuando
talk
viene
all
el
the
alcalde
time
a hablar
about
todo el tiempo
investing
de
in
inversión de
infrastructure. You
infraestructura,
hear them talk about
empiezan a
investing
hablar de
in police officers and public safety
seguridad
and in
pública,
parks and roads and
parques
all
y
the things that make
carreteras y
cities
todo eso es lo
great.
que hace las ciudades
But this
grandes,
mayor
pero este alcalde
recognized that the thing
reconoce
that
que la
makes a
cosa
city
que lo
really
hace
great are
grande,
its people.
es su
And that
gente,
without
y
investing
que
in
sin
its
inversión
people
en su gente,
and investing in its young people through
inversión de
programs like Free Cash for
programas como Free
College,
Cash
we
for
won't have
College,
the
no
kind
vamos
of a
a tener
city,
la
we won't
clase,
have
no
the kind
vamos
of
a
a
tener la
region
clase de
that will
región
really lead
que de
America
veras
in the 21st
lleva
century. So
América en el
to
21
Mayor Jim Hahn, who
siglo.
put this program
Entonces,
top
Hahn
on
que
his
puso este
agenda
programa en su
last year
agenda
and
el
early
año
this
pasado y
year,
este
who
año,
talked about
que
it in
habló
his budget
acerca de su
message, who has placed a
presupuesto, que ha
priority
puesto
on
una
this
prioridad en
program.
este
We
programa.
thank you and we
Le damos las
salute you
gracias y
for
los
your
saludamos por
vision
su
in
visión
putting people
en poner a la
first
gente
and
primero
in
y
making
en
sure
estar
that young
seguros
people
de
in
que la
Los
gente
Angeles
joven en
have
Los
the
Ángeles tiene
opportunities
la
that they
oportunidad
deserve
que ellos se
to go
merecen
to college.
para ir
Thank
al
you very much.
colegio. Muchas gracias.
And we have a
Y
student
nosotros tenemos
behind
un
us,
estudiante
the
detrás
mayor,
de nosotros al
we have
alcalde
a
que nosotros hemos
certificate
certificado
for
para
you
que
to
le
present
presente
to
a ella,
Annabelle
Anabel
Jiménez,
Jiménez,
who was a student at
que fue
Huntington
estudiante
Park
de
High
Huntington
School,
Park High School,
recipient of a $1,000 scholarship.
de
She participated
Ella
at first in the
primero en
college convention,
la
and we're
convención del
pleased
colegio.
to give
Este
her
nos
one
da
of many
una de muchas
scholarships, and she may want to
becas
say a
que
few
ella
words.
nos puede decir algunas palabras.
I want to thank
Quiero dar las
Mayor
gracias
Han and the City of Los Angeles for making this possible, for my parents for supporting me, and I'm so grateful and honored to have
Agradecido y
been
honrada
chosen.
para haber
Thank
sido
you so
escogido.
much.
Muchas gracias.
And we were very pleased to
muy
have
orgullosos de tener
Senator
al
John
senador John
Vasconcellos here, who will
Vasconcellos
be,
aquí, que va a
he
ser,
told me today, is going to
dijo
be
que va a ser
retiring at the end of this
retirarse al final
term.
de este.
Another bad thing about term limits.
Otra cosa del término.
I'll tell you, losing a great guy like John
Perder un
Vasconcellos.
gran-
John, would you like to address our city council just for a second here? Let's give a great hand to one of the great leaders, political figures in the state, John Vasconcellos.
Thank you, Mayor Hahn, Mr. President, and members.
Presidente y
I'm
miembros,
grateful to be here at this
estoy orgulloso de estar
auspicious
aquí
moment
en
and say
este
thanks to what
momento
you're
de
doing.
las gracias, lo que están
Congratulations.
haciendo.
Helped
Felicitaciones.
found the Cal Grant program
Contra el
30 years
Cal Grant
ago,
hace
and now
30
it's
años, ahora
available for all kids who are
disponible para todos los niños que
qualified.
califican.
Important breakthrough for California.
Para el resto de
Nate, good to see you
California,
again.
Nate,
So I
gusto
was in
verlo otra
Rotunda
vez.
this morning with Alan
En la
Arkansas,
Rotunda.
my host here this morning, and
Hicimos
the
esta
quote from
mañana.
Radio Rotunda about
Hay
the
una
city's role in the
frase
life
que
of its
dice,
people.
el
It
rol
certainly
de la
is the
ciudad y
city's
la de
challenge to be sure all your people provide themselves all their educational
un reto
opportunities.
para darle a todas las
California
oportunidades.
is the leading
California es
state,
el
leading
estado
nation in the
líder
world in
del
many
mundo
ways.
de muchas
My
maneras.
district is Silicon
El
Valley,
distrito
where
Silicon
computers
Valley
come from.
Hub, de donde vienen las
Our challenge is
computadoras
to realize the promise of a
retos son
multicultural democracy,
una democracia
with gender
multicultural
equity,
con
the
igualdad
global
de
economy, the age of technology.
género.
Education is crucial, college
Educación
is
es
crucial,
crucial,
this
es
program is
crucial, este
wonderful.
programa es
Keep it going,
maravilloso.
expand it.
Síganlo, expándanlo.
Congratulations.
Muchas
Thank you.
gracias.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Muchas
President.
gracias, señor presidente. Muchas gracias, señor
And,
García.
Mr. Mayor, I
Señor
understand
alcalde, usted
our
es
next
parte de nuestra
presentation
presentación
as well.
también.
Let me recognize
Déjame reconocer
Councilmember
al
Gruen.
concejal Gruen.
And while Ms.
Y mientras la
Gruhl
señora Gruen
and her folks come to the
sus amigos
podium,
vienen al podio,
Madam Clerk, may I ask you to
secretario,
please
por
call
favor,
roll?
llame la lista.
Bernson, Galanter, Garcetti, Gruel, Hahn, Holden, Labange, Mizakowski, Pacheco, Parks, Perry, Reyes, Weiss, San Padilla, 12 members present, and a quorum, Mr. President.
Señores presidentes,
Thank you very much. The
representantes del
council is
Consejo
officially in session.
oficialmente está en sesión.
Ms. Gruhl.
Señora Gruhl.
Thank you very much,
Muchas gracias,
Mr. President, and I know all my colleagues join me today in acknowledging Julie Downey. And it's a sad day in Los Angeles for us, because Julie Downey has been a staple in this city, and particularly in the city attorney's office, and also stepped up recently, thanks to Mayor Hahn, to take the helm of the Community Development Department for the last 3 months. And I kept saying, oh, it's going to be longer than 3 months, Julie, we'll convince you to stay longer. But we weren't able to, but we know that she has been a tireless person in the city of Los Angeles, and particularly in the city attorney's office. She has served in the city attorney's office since February 1977, where she worked for the supervising attorney as a supervising attorney for the Housing and Community Services Division, where there are many reasons to honor Julie Downey, include her incisive mind, her concern for others, her wise counsel, her regard for her colleagues, her good humor, and particularly her love for the city of Los Angeles and its residents. She now retires after 812 years of working for the city. That must be... It's based on billable hours, Julie. Based on billable hours, she now retires after 812 years of working for the city. I almost skipped that part. Anyways, I have had the pleasure of seeing Julie really as a mentor to me for many, many years on the issue of housing and homeless. And whenever I had a problem during my time in the mayor's office, or even when I was a HUD and we were negotiating with the city, Julie Downey was there. And never be fooled that Julie, who has a very nice demeanor, cannot be a tough city attorney, and one who was always an advocate for the city of Los Angeles. So I am so pleased, and I would like to ask Mayor Hahn, who when he signed it this morning said, oh, Julie Downey, and it was so great that he could be here today to also say a few words. So I'd like to introduce Mayor Hahn.
Councilman Gruhl and Mr. President, members of the council. Great example of civil servant is Julie Downey, who I hope comes up here now. Julie, I was very pleased to work with Julie as city attorney. What's great about Julie Downey is that you actually really did care about the work that you did, really knew that you were making an impact in people's lives, helping people, helping improve their quality of life. You were able to be a part of the city attorney's office where you made a big difference, a number of different places you worked in the office. A great lawyer, conscientious employee, a somebody with a
empleada
great
una
heart.
gran
I think
corazón.
that's
Y yo creo
what
que
exemplifies
lo
you
que
more than anyone
ejempla lo
else.
que usted cualquier
I
otro
was
más.
very grateful that you were able to
Orgulloso
come
de que pudo
in and
venir
pinch hit for us in
y
the
estar con
community
nosotros en la
development
comunidad del
department.
departamento.
I couldn't convince you
Yo
to
no podía
stay,
convencerle
but
que se quedara, pero
you did a great job
hizo un
there.
buen trabajo
Nobody
ahí,
knew
nadie
anything more
sabía
about it
más
than you
de
did, so
cerca que usted,
I'm glad you were
entonces
able to go
estoy
there
feliz que haya podido ir
and
ahí
fix things up
y arreglar
for
cosas
our
para
incoming
una
person who's
persona que
coming in
va a venir
today.
hoy.
So
Entonces,
again,
otra vez,
Mr. Graves, here,
Sir
Cliff Graves.
Graves,
So you've got a tough act to
tiene
follow,
un acto duro para seguir, pero
because you never
porque
comment on a
nunca
woman's shoe
viene
size,
de
I'm not going to
zapatos
say you
de
have
mujeres, no debo
some
decir
big
que
shoes
tiene
to
unos
fill.
zapatos para llenar.
But
Pero
trust me, it's a tough act to follow.
confíeme, es un trabajo
And
duro
my
que sigue.
best
Es mi
wishes
mejor
to you,
deseo
Julie, and
a usted,
everything you
Julie,
do
y todo
after
lo que
this.
haga después de esto.
Thank you, Mayor.
Muchas
Let me
gracias,
recognize Councilmember Reyes.
Great. And after that, we also
Después
have Terry
tenemos a
Bowers who'd
Terry
like to say
Bowers, que
something
le
on
gusta
behalf of
decir
City
algo
Attorney
aparte
Rocky
de
Del
lo
Video.
que
Thank you, Council President.
Gracias,
I
presidente.
just want to
Les
thank
quiero dar las
Julie
gracias a
Downey for all the
Julie
great
Downey por el
work.
trabajo
We went through a lot
maravilloso que hemos
during
pasado
the
mucho por
aftermath of the riots,
de los
earthquakes,
motines, de los
the
temblores. Son
many
importantes
issues
muchas
affecting
cuestiones
housing and
afectando
planning.
viviendas y
My
planeamiento.
understanding is, by
Entiendo
way of
eso que mi
background,
manera de
you're an educator one
antecedentes, una
time,
educadora fue en el tiempo.
and the compassion
Y
that
la
teachers
compasión
showed
que
to
los
the
maestros hacían a
students,
sus
I
estudiantes,
believe and I
yo
saw
creo, yo
and
lo vi
appreciated
y lo aprecié.
your approach and how you dealt with these very
Cómo es que
complex
hizo
problems
esos
and very
problemas
trying times.
aplicados.
With that, I want to
Pero
thank
quiero
you.
dar las gracias.
Staff person, it's
La
very rare
persona
to be
aquí
able to
pues
speak
muy
to
raro
an
poder
individual
hablar
that
con
will
un
tell
individuo
you
que le diría
this is the
esto
law,
es la ley,
this is what's good, this
esto
is
es
what's
lo que es
bad,
bueno, esto es lo que es malo,
and this is what's best for the
es lo
city.
que mejor para la
We had that
ciudad
kind
y
of
usted
heart
tiene
for
esa
that, I want
clase
to
con
thank you
pero
so
quiero dar
much.
las gracias.
Ms. Hahn.
Señora Han. I do right.
Thank you, Mr.
Muy
President
cierto,
Collins. Well,
Presidente,
I do
yo
too rise
también me levanto
today
hoy
to
para
thank
dar las
Julie
gracias
for
a Julie
many
por
years. I
muchos
didn't
años, yo
realize
no
how
sabía
many
cuántos
years
años
that you
que
have
usted tuvo,
really
de
been a
veras ha
true
sido
public
una
servant.
sirvienta pública.
Serving this city in
Sirviendo a
so
la
many
ciudad en
ways.
tantas
And
maneras.
I want to
Yo
rise and
quiero
say
levantarme y decir
specifically, I
específicamente
came
que
to
yo vine a
understand your
entender
heart.
su
I
corazón,
came to
vine a
understand your
entender su
intelligence, and I
inteligencia
came
y
to
vine a
understand
entender
your
su
incredible
increíble
ability
habilidad
to
para
untangle things in the city of Los Angeles with the Habitat for Humanity project,
narrar en el proyecto
where we were
Dominador,
able
donde
to
nosotros
build
pudimos
26
crear
homes
26
in
casas en
Wilmington.
Wilmington.
And it started out
empezó
bad, and it kept
mal
getting
y
worse,
siguió
and you
empeorando,
were
y usted
really
de veras
the whole
estuvo todo
time
el
so
tiempo
intent on making
contenta de estar
sure
segura de
that things
que
happened
las cosas pasaran
well and
bien y
properly, and it
apropiadamente.
really was
Y
a
de veras
tangled
fue
mess, which
un
everyone that
nudo
was
que
involved
todos
with that
estuvieron
project
envueltos en
credits
ellos
you
le dan crédito a
for
usted
really being
por de
able
veras
to
de
untangle
poder
it and move it forward, and now you can
deshacer el
feel
nudo, ahora puede
tremendously
ser
proud
tremendamente orgullosa
that
que
26
26
families
familias
are able to own their
pueden
own
ser
home
dueños de sus
in
casas en Wilmington,
where they probably
donde
would have never
probablemente
been able
nunca
to do that
hubieran
in their
podido hacer
entire
eso en
lives. So
toda
I
su
know
vida.
you've done a
Entonces yo
lot
creo
of
que se
good
vieron
things.
buenas cosas.
You've made an
He
incredible
hecho una
difference. But
diferencia
that was one
increíble, pero eso
instance
fue un
I wanted to
incidente que
publicly
quiero
stand
públicamente
and
pararme y
say
decir
that
que
many people watched
mucha
you on
gente
that one,
viene
and
ese
you did
y
a
de
good
veras
job.
un buen trabajo.
Mr. Labange.
Señor Lamancho.
Thank you, Mr.
Muchas gracias, señor
President.
presidente.
Members of council,
Miembros de Consejo, Julie, felicitaciones en su gran
I think it's
carrera.
absolutely great that the
Y de
mayor
veras es
from time to
maravilloso
time
que
is
el
able
alcalde de
to
vez en cuando
pick
puede
people such as yourself
escoger a la
to
gente tal
serve
como
as
usted para
interim general
servir como
managers.
managers
People have a
internos.
passion for
Tiene la
helping
pasión
people,
para ayudar a
as
gente.
Janice just
Como
spoke
Janice
of, and
acaba de
Ed
hablar y
others,
él
and
y
Wendy,
otros y Wendy,
you certainly
usted
have that.
Silvia
And
tiene
also your
eso
long
de
history
su
and so
historia
much
larga
of
de
the
tanto de
relationships you
las
have, and your love
relaciones
of
que ha
parks, your
tenido,
love of open
su
space.
amor de parques,
And I
espacio
can't
abierto
not say
y
mention
no puedo
Royce
decir con
Duchat's
los nuevos.
late great former park commissioner who was such
Comisión
a
de
great
Parques,
advocate
que
and a
buen
friend of
advocado
yours,
y
and
amigo
we
de usted que
named a canyon
tenemos el
after
cañón
years
después
ago
de eso hace muchos
in
años.
Griffith Park. Julie
Y
Downey,
Roger
you've done a
John Downey ha
wonderful
hecho un
job
gran
for Los
trabajo para
Angeles,
Los
and I just
Ángeles
want
y
to
más
thank you
quiero
and
dar
wish
las
you a
gracias,
happy,
desearle
happy, happy,
feliz,
long,
muy
healthy
largo,
retirement.
saludable
Thank you.
retiro. Gracias.
Thank you, Mr.
Gracias, señor
President.
presidente.
On behalf of
Como
Rocky
parte de
Delgadillo, who's up in
Delgadillo,
San
que está en San
Francisco, and the city
Francisco, en
attorney's
la
office,
oficina del
I just want to
Gracias,
express
quiero
our
expresar
extreme
la
gratitude for the
gratitud extremada por el
truly
extraordinario
extraordinary work you've done
trabajo
over the
que ha hecho
years.
en los años.
All of us here
Todos
agree
nosotros
that
estamos de
public
acuerdo
service
que el
is one of the
servicio público
highest
es uno de los
callings
más
that one can
altos que uno
pursue.
puede perseguir.
And I have to
Y
say,
tengo que
Julie
decir que
Downing
Julie
is
Downey
just the
es
paradigm of a
el
public
parador
servant.
del servicio público.
She has always been
Ella siempre ha sido
dedicated,
dedicada,
diligent, has always
diligente,
had a
siempre
passion for
tiene
her
una pasión
work.
para su trabajo.
Incredibly knowledgeable,
Increíble,
bright, insightful, and as
y
Council Member
consejera
Hahn mentioned, alluded to, this just incredible
esto,
ability to
habilidad
work through the
increíble para trabajar para
complexities
las
of city
complejidades del
government and
gobierno
get things done. And
de la
that's the
ciudad
most
y hacer
valuable
las
type
cosas,
of
es
public
la clase
servant you can have.
más
In our office, we're blessed to have a resident
tenemos un
sage here and
residente
there,
aquí,
and Julie was truly one of these
fue una de
sages.
las sages.
One of the biggest legacies
Es
she'll
una de las
have
legacies que va a tener
is all of the
y todos
attorneys
los
who have learned
abogados
from
que han
her over the
aprendido de,
years.
de los años,
Extraordinary
extraordinaria,
insight, great knowledge of
gran
the inner workings
reconocimiento
of the
por los
city,
trabajos de la
and she's
ciudad y
passed
les
that
paso
along
eso
to other
a
attorneys
otros
in our
abogados
office.
en
And
nuestra
even though they
oficina,
can't
aunque no
replace her,
pueden reemplazarla,
they'll
van a
follow in her
seguir
footsteps and
sus
try and
pasos y van
emulate
a
what she's done.
imitar lo que ella ha hecho.
Congratulations on your
Felicitaciones en su
retirement. We'll
retiro.
miss you, Julie,
Vamos a extrañar a
and we wish
Julie
you
y
the
vamos
best
a
of luck.
desear su mejor trabajo. Eso es.
Well, who says
Bueno,
that
¿qué
the
dice que
city of Los
la ciudad de
Angeles
Los
is one of
Ángeles
these
es una de
impersonal,
esas
faceless clients?
clientes
There
que
are a
no
lot of
tienen
good
cara, hay
faces
muchas
here, and I'm going to
bonitas
remember
caras, voy a
them for a
recordarlas a
very long
ellos por
time.
mucho tiempo.
I go way back with Wendy
Yo
and
regreso
Tom,
hasta Wendy and Tom,
way back.
muchos.
I go way back
Yo
actually with
regreso
Cindy
con
and
Cindy
Occidental
de
Oil
Occidental
Drilling.
Oil Drilling.
And I remember a
Saliendo el
time when I
aceite,
was
yo
down
recuerdo
here
tiempo
early in my
cuando estaba aquí
career
en
when
mi
Gil
carrera,
Lindsay
cuando
called me a
Gil
young
Lindsay me
woman.
habló una jovencita.
That was a day when it
Eso
might
fue el
have
día
even been
cuando
close to
su vida
true,
se
and
me
it
acerca
hasn't
la
been
verdad
true
y
for
no
a
ha
long
sido
time. So
verdad hace muchos años. Entonces,
it's time to move on.
es tiempo de moverse.
The mayor, I
El
had the
alcalde,
privilege of
yo tuve el
working
privilegio de
with
trabajar con
the mayor when he was
el
city
alcalde
attorney
cuando
for all
era
those
fiscal
years.
para toda la
And
ciudad para todos sus años
recently,
recientemente.
as his interim
Como
appointee, I've been serving at CDD.
CDD,
Talk about acts to
hablando
follow. Lillian Kawasaki, you all know what a
Kawasaki, todos
dynamo she
saben
was.
la diamante
And
era
I
ella.
don't know what
Y yo
your
no
shoe
sé,
size
pues,
is, Lillian, but
los
plenty
zapatos
big.
ella, pero bastante
And talk
grande.
about
Y
an act to be
hablando
proceeding, you're going to be
de
seeing
actos de
Cliff
proceso,
Graves
van a ver
shortly
Cliff
for his
Shortly
confirmation.
por su confirmación.
A man with
Un hombre
huge
de gran
experience, a
experiencia,
very impressive
muy
person.
persona muy impresiva.
CDD is going to be in
CDD
good
va a estar en
hands. The
buenas
city
manos,
is in
la
good
ciudad está en
hands.
buenas
I
manos.
really
Yo
love
de
this
veras
city, just as
adoro
much
esta
as you,
ciudad como
Tom.
todo usted, Tom.
I've lived all over the
He
city,
vivido toda
worked
la
all
ciudad,
over the
trabajado por
city,
la
raised my
ciudad,
kids here, gone to school
mis hijos
here,
han
their
crecido aquí,
kids
sus
are going to
hijos
be
y
raised
buenos
here and
están
go to
crecidos
school
aquí, van a
here.
la escuela aquí.
And it's a
Y
wonderful
de veras un
moment in LA's
momento en
history. I
la
think
historia de
downtown
Los Ángeles,
especially is
downtown
just booming.
está
And it's in
explotando
your
y está
capable
en
hands
sus
here
manos
to watch that
para ver
development.
ese
But
desarrollo, pero
it is time to
es
go.
tiempo
I've
de
been
irse.
the
Yo
butt of lawyer jokes
he
and
sido
Jewish
la
mother
que-
jokes
de
and more
madre
recently
judía y de
forgetful
abogada,
old lady
y
jokes.
a las que se le
So I
olvidan
think
todas
it's
y
time.
yo creo que ya es tiempo.
I hope I'll be
Espero
seeing
que los
you
voy a estar
from
viendo
time to
de vez en
time.
cuando.
I'm available
Estoy
for
disponible para
volunteer,
voluntario,
short-term,
términos
part-time,
cortos, tiempo
fun
parcial,
assignments.
trabajos.
Thank you all very, very
Gracias,
much.
muchas gracias.
Although I can get a picture.
Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias.
For our next
Nuestra
presentation, we
presentación
recognize
de mejor con
Councilmember
los
Parks.
concejal Parks.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have
Gracias, señor
a
presidente.
great pleasure to
Tengo el
introduce
placer de
you to several
presentarle a
members of
varios
my
miembros de mi
family,
familia.
and that most of my
Y
life
casi
I've
toda mi
lived
vida
with
yo he
5
vivido con 5
generations
generaciones
in the family.
en la familia.
And today we're
Y
here to
hoy
honor
estamos
my
aquí para
grandmother.
honrar a mi abuela.
She turned
Ella
100
se
years old April 14th.
cumplió 100 años en abril 14.
And she has been the
Ella ha
matriarch of
sido
this
la
family,
matriarca de esta familia,
certainly as long as I can
ciertamente
recall,
como
been
recuerdo ella
an
ha sido
uninterrupted tour
ininterrumpida
living in the city for
vivir en la
since
ciudad
the early
desde
40s.
los 40.
She has been
Ha
such
sido
an
tal
active person in the
persona
family
activa
that
en la
she
familia
has
que ella
retained and
ha
obtained
retenido y
her
obtenido su
high school diploma well after she became a
después de
grandmother.
que se hizo abuela.
She is still
Ella
currently
todavía ahorita está
a member, and
una
she's the
miembro
oldest
y es la
active member
activa
of the
más
Auxiliary
grande
Knights, Peter Claver,
noches
Court 99.
Corte
And she
99.
was a member
Y ella fue una
of St.
miembro
Patrick's
de
Catholic Church
la
for well over
Escuela
50
Católica de
years.
150 años.
And what I'd like to do is introduce you to several of the 5
de las
generations that
5
are here today.
generaciones que están hoy
I'd like
aquí.
to ask
José Pedro,
Gabrielle and Joseph to
Gabriel
come
y
up, who are
Joseph que
great,
vienen
great
para que son
grandchildren.
mis nietos.
And then great-grandchildren is Trudy. And then we have
tataranietos
grandchildren, the next
y
generation
luego
is my brother
nietos
Arthur,
y mi hermano
my
Arturo,
sister
mi hermana
Agnes, my
Agnes,
sister Cleo, my
hermana
cousin
Cleo,
Pat, and my cousin
y
Renee.
mi primo.
And then we
Y luego
have the next
tenemos
generation, my mom,
se une de mi mamá,
Gertrude Parks.
Gertrude Parks.
Oh, I forgot one. And my son,
Y mi hijo.
Bernard Parks, that's one of the great-grandchildren. And then we have my aunt from Baton Rouge, Inez Anderson. And then we have Agnes Matuire Smith, who we affectionately call Mama, and I'd like her to come up at this time.
Sí, puede venir, por favor.
One thing I also
Una
like to
cosa que
mention
me
is
gustaría
that
mencionar es que
having
tener
prepared for this
preparado
birthday
para
for a
este
number of
cumpleaños por
months,
varios
one of the
meses,
things I
una de
was
las cosas que
concerned
he
about called our
preocupado
Department
del
of Aging and
departamento
said,
de
what do we
edad,
do
que es lo que
when a
hacemos
person
cuando una
turns
persona
100? They said, we
cumple 100
generally
años,
refer to
generalmente lo
the
referimos
number
al
to
número
call
para que
to
hable
the White House and get a
a la
letter
Casa
from the
Blanca y
president.
una
I said,
carta
you
del
mean the
presidente.
city
Quiere
doesn't do
decir la ciudad
anything
no
for
hace
people who
nada
turn
para la gente
100?
que cumple
I
100
said, it only
años,
happens once
solamente
in our
pasa
life.
una vez en nuestra
And
vida.
so,
Entonces,
what I'd like
lo
to
que
do,
me
and I'm
gustaría
going to
hacer,
prepare a motion
voy a
today
proponer
and
una
see
moción y ver
if we
si
could ask
podemos
our
pedir a
Department
nuestro
of Aging
departamento
to
de
look at
edad
how we
para
can
ver
more
cómo nosotros
formally
más formalmente
recognize people
reconocer
that
la
reach the
gente que
age
llegan a la edad de
100 in this city.
años.
And so we hope that we get unanimous seconds on this so that we can ensure that it's not done in the future in an ad hoc manner or just if we hear about it, but that the Department of Aging does some formal process and hopefully more than a certificate, something that we can do as a city to honor people.
Pero nada, la
Let me
gente
introduce you
déjame
to Agnes
presentar a Alex
Matuire
Matuire Smith.
Thank you. Thank you
Gracias,
very
muchas
much.
gracias.
I'm very happy to
Nunca
be
me
here.
tiene, estoy feliz de estar aquí.
And as my grandson
Y como
said,
mi nieto dice,
with 5
con
generations,
5 generaciones,
the oldest
la más
is 18 years old.
tiene 18 años, muchas gracias por tenerme.
Mr. Lawrence.
Thank you, Mr. President, and this distinguished family here. What a wonderful thing. I was at a reception recently. There were 4 members of a family all together, but 5 generations is truly something very special. And Bernard, we have known each other over the years. Your brother Art was, I think, in my brother Steve's class at St. John Vianney. I think you're the absolute luckiest man in Los Angeles today to stand and have such a family around you. And for whatever trials that we all go through in our lives, our family is the basis from where we come from. And as I tell them, both of my parents are gone and my grandparents are gone, and I always tease people who have their mother to make sure they call their mother every day. You're on the phone all the time because you've got such a great, big, beautiful family. So God bless your whole family there in this wonderful tree and that great motion that I want to second before Nate holds.
One thing I'll mention is that
Una
she
cosa
had
que
the
me
same
ella
phone
tiene el
number
mismo número de
since
teléfono desde
1944,
1944.
Adams 4464, up until recently.
Hasta
For those
recientemente.
not old enough to remember
Es
Adams, I'll explain that
Adams,
to
y
you
lo
later.
explico después. Señor Holden.
Just want to say
Además
that
quiero decir que
this is
esto es
quite an exciting day for
un
not only
excitante hoy, no solo por
Parks family
la
and you,
familia Parks y usted,
but for all of us
para
in the
todos
city.
nosotros dentro de la ciudad,
Because you were
porque usted fue
responsible for
responsable
delivering to the
por
city of
entregar a
Los
la ciudad de
Angeles
Los Ángeles
one of the greatest
uno de
public
los grandes
services the
servicios
city's ever
públicos en la
known.
ciudad conocida.
You know and we
Usted y
know
yo
that,
sabemos que
in my view,
en mi vida
one of the
uno
finest
de los mejores
police officers we have
oficiales de
had.
policía que hemos tenido
protect and
para
serve the
proteger y
people of
servir
this
a la
city.
gente de la ciudad.
And I'm sure
Y estoy
the
seguro
whole
como
entire
usted, toda
family
la
is
familia
proud
entera está
We
orgullosa.
too are proud
Nosotros estamos orgullosos.
of you and
De
Chief
usted,
Parks and
el
the entire
jefe
family.
Parks y toda la familia.
And God has made it possible
Y Dios lo ha
for
hecho posible
for
para
him to,
a él que,
and for you to
para
continue
ustedes
to
que continúen compartir
share him with the people of
con la
this city
gente de esta ciudad.
and serving us
Sirviendo
not
a
as a member of the
nosotros,
city council.
miembros del Consejo de
You're a
Ciudad.
beautiful family,
Es una familia
obviously
maravillosa,
both
obviamente
outside and
los dos
certainly
son
inside as well.
dentro de fuera.
And we're so
Entonces
pleased to have you
estamos
here
orgullosos de
today.
tenerlo hoy aquí.
Once again,
Y una vez
congratulations
más,
on your 100th
felicitaciones
birthday.
con sus cumpleaños de 100 años,
And I
gracias.
want you to be
Y
around when
quiero
I
estar
have
seguro
mine.
cuando tenga yo el mío. Señora Perry.
Councilman, I just wanted to
Más
say
quiero decir
congratulations to your
felicitaciones para
grandmother
su
and to your
abuela y para
family.
su
When I
familia.
first
Cuando yo
saw your grandmother,
vi a
she
su
was on the
abuela,
big
ella estaba
billboard for the
en la
California
marquesina, pero
Hospital
el
Medical
hospital más
Center,
siempre el
and I
centro
gotta
médico.
say,
Y
she
yo
looks
quiero decir que se
even more
ve hasta
beautiful
más
in
maravillosa en persona.
person. It's just a
Es
pleasure and an
un
honor and an
placer y un honor y una
inspiration. And
inspiración.
thank you so much
Y
for
que
bringing
muchas
them here
gracias por
today. It
traerlos
shows that
hoy
you
aquí
can
para
raise
decir que
a
usted puede
good, strong, happy
tener
family
una
here in Los
familia en
Angeles,
Los
and they can
Ángeles y
thrive and grow
pueden
and
crecer
live to
y
inspire
vivir
others.
eso.
So
200
congratulations.
felicitaciones.
Thank you very much and
Muchas
congratulations
felicitaciones
to the entire Parks
a
family.
toda la familia Parks.
For our next presentation, let me
Nuestra
call
presidenta
on
de mamá,
Councilmember Pacheco.
el señor Pacheco.
And colleagues, as Mr. Pacheco
El
comes
señor Pacheco
forward,
viene para
let me
adelante.
announce
Déjame
after this
presentar después de esta
presentation,
presentación.
which is subject to time
Sujete a tiempo.
constraints. We're going to take a
Vamos
brief
a tener
pause on
una
the
pausa en las
presentations
presentaciones
and go through
y
the
vamos a
agenda, call matters
repasar la
first,
agenda
dispense
de
with
la
consent
agencia de
items,
consentiendo.
and then
Y
we'll come
entonces
back
vamos
to
a
the
regresar a la
presentation
presentación, la
portion
porción
of today's agenda.
de la agenda de hoy.
Mr. President, colleagues, I want to
Presidente,
invite
colegas, quiero
up my
invitar
colleague
a
and a
mi
big
colega,
supporter, and basically both of our districts are fundamentally involved in this next presentation. Fiesta Broadway, as you know, is one of the highest attended. 500,000 people come down here every year to make sure that we are celebrating our culture and diversity in this city. This is the 14th year that Fiesta Broadway celebrates Cinco de Mayo as part of the Latino community. It's the largest free Cinco de Mayo festival in the country. It celebrates and commemorates the historic victory at the Battle of Puebla in 1862, when a small army of peasants and Mexicans defeated the French military. In 1862, that sent a strong message, not only in Mexico about the desire for independence, but importantly the possibility of one day being free from European rule in Mexico, because the French were extremely embarrassed during that time period to have lost that battle, considering what their presence was in terms of the military. We invite everyone to come down to Fiesta Broadway. There's going to be food, music. I'm going to bring up, first of all, I want to tell you that today we're honoring and welcoming two great talents in the Latino music industry. One, which I will get to, is the Queen of Fiesta Broadway, and we also have the Grand Marshals of Fiesta Broadway. So before I move on to them, I do want to bring up and introduce my colleague Jan Perry, so she can say a few words also about Fiesta Broadway in her community, in her district.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pacheco. And I got to say, he's been a good neighbor to me. Fiesta Broadway, I've watched it grow and become bigger and better and more exciting every year. It's a great opportunity to bring your family to see downtown, but to be able to enjoy the vast array of tremendous superstars from all over Latin America. And I can tell you it's just an exciting opportunity to see a good range of musical talent and to enjoy just a wide range of cultural opportunities. So I'm happy to be here with Nick and to tell not only downtown Los Angeles, but the entire Southern California region, please come and join us and celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
also want to tell
También
you
quiero
that
decirles que
the Fiesta
la
Broadway is
fiesta
part of
Broadway
our
es
giving
parte
back to the
de los
community and supports a number of charities. But one of the big charities that we support, or that Fiesta Broadway supports with our, obviously being part of the process, is the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Southern California. And my good friend, Ronald, is here, and a representative from the House Charities, Vincent, come on up.
Está aquí.
Good morning.
Buenos días.
I'm Vince
Yo
Bryson.
soy
I'm
Vince Bryson, yo
executive
soy
director of the LA
director
Ronald
del
McDonald
Ronald
House, and
McDonald
I'm
Casa.
very happy to be
Estamos
here.
felices de estar
And
aquí.
we are very,
Estamos
very
muy, muy,
pleased to
muy
be one of the
orgullosos de ser uno
recipients
de los recipientes
and beneficiaries
beneficiarios
of
de
Fiesta Broadway
Fiesta Broadway.
charities. We are building
Caridades,
now
estamos
what will
construyendo
be
ahorita
the
lo que va a
world's
ser
largest
la más
Ronald
grande
McDonald
Ronald
House,
McDonald Casa.
and we'll
Y
set to
vamos a
open
aceptar
in 2005. So we appreciate all
Entonces
this
apreciamos
support.
todo su soporte.
Thank you.
Gracias.
And colleagues, as you know, and I want to reemphasize this,
enfatizar esto.
as Jan Perry
Como
pointed
Jan Perry acaba de
out,
apuntar,
Fiesta
que Fiesta
Broadway is free to the
es gratis al
public.
público.
And if you
Y
look around
ustedes
the
ven
room,
alrededor del cuarto.
you can count
Pueden contar
1,
1,
2, 3,
2,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 news media outlets
Noticias
are here today.
están aquí.
Other than the
Aparte
spay-neuter
de
ordinance,
la ordenanza,
I've never seen so much
nunca he visto
interest
tanto
in City
interés
Hall
en el City Hall
for anything
por
we
cualquier
do.
cosa que hacemos.
This event
Este
is
evento
that
es tan
great
grande
in terms of
en
putting the
términos
city of
de
Los
poner hacia
Angeles
Los
on the
Ángeles.
world map. Some of these media
Algunas
outlets are
estas-
international
la prensa
outlets
son
that
internacionales,
transmit all over
intereses que
Latin
transmiten por
America
toda
what
Latinoamérica
happens
de
here
lo que
in Los
pasa aquí en
Angeles.
Los Ángeles.
And so it's with great
Entonces,
pride and
gran
joy
orgullo
that I
que
bring to
pedido
you
a
our
ustedes,
queen
nuestra reina
of Fiesta
de Fiesta
Broadway. Let me tell you a
Déjenme
little bit
decirles un
about
poquito
Alicia
acerca de
Villarreal. Come on up.
Acá.
Alicia Villarreal. She
Ella
has been called the
ha sido
queen
llamada
of
la reina de
Tex-Mex
Tex-Mex
because of the magic
porque la magia
projected in her
en
voice.
su voz.
She is an integral
Ella
member
es una
of the
miembro integral
and the mesmerizing lead singer of Grupo
del Grupo
Límite.
Límite.
Alicia fulfills her
Alicia
own
llena
dream of
su
debuting
propio
as a
de
ranchero
debutar como
singer
ranchero
with the recording
con
of her
el-
first
de su primer
solo album,
álbum,
Soy Lo
Solo
Prohibido.
Prohibido.
Her first solo
Su
album
primer solo
received a
álbum
gold disc
recibió
from her
un
record
disco
label in
de oro
Monterrey,
en
Monterrey, Mexico,
Monterrey, México.
for selling
Por
75,000 copies within 2 months of its release, reaching number 1 on the Billboard charts in 2002. Grupo Límite, with Villarreal on the lead vocals, has not only received the Latin Grammy Award for Best Album,
Para el mejor álbum,
for the album
Pero
Por
el
Encima de
Por
Todo
Todo
in Mexican Regional
Mexican
Music,
Music,
but it also has
pero
been
también
named
ha sido
Group of
nombrado
the Year
Grupo del
for
Año
3
por
consecutive
3 años
years
consecutivos
in the same
por la
category
misma categoría
by Premio
por
Lo
el premio
Nuestro
Nuestro
from 1997 to 1999.
1999.
Grupo Límite
Grupo
became the
Límite
first
hizo el
Mexican
primer
group to perform at Houston's Astrodome in front of 62,000 fans and set a new box office record during the rodeo season, in which up to that point only American artists had performed. Grupo Límite joined the ranks of such international stars as Madonna, Paul McCartney, and the Rolling Stones when they played to an excess of 45,000 fans at Foro Sol in Mexico City.
En la Ciudad de México.
Grupo Límite has earned 5 platinum records, a quintuple diamond record, multiple gold records, and 2 Billboard Album of the Year awards for Mexican regional music. They have also dedicated themselves to helping others by performing several charity concerts in Mexico, raising over $300,000 for the University Hospital of Monterrey, Mexico. Her well-received solo album has become a refreshing contemporary voice in traditional Mexican music, enabling her to acquire her own fan base in the realm of rancheros. And it's with this great record of achievement that we here in the city of Los Angeles want to welcome her and give her a certificate of recognition and welcome. Let me see. And for those of you, and I apologize to all the Spanish media, but I think one of the things that we want to make sure is that all of our artists, especially those who don't necessarily perform in English, get their full
por todo su
recognition to the
reconocimiento para
English-speaking
la
audience that
audiencia de
normally
inglés que
watches
normalmente ve nuestros
our council meetings, and that's
consejeros por
why
eso
I felt it was very
sentí que
important
era muy
that I do the
importante que
entire
hice
thing
toda la cosa
in
entera
English,
en
because it's
inglés
really
porque
about
es
building
ver ese
bridges
construir
with other communities, and
otras
so
comunidades,
I
entonces
did want to do
voy a
that
hacer
background
hacerlo
in
pero
English.
es en inglés.
But I do want to
Pero
say,
quiero decir,
Reina Alicia Villarreal, de parte de la ciudad de Los Ángeles, me da mucho gusto presentarte con este reconocimiento, reconociendo que usted este año estamos muy gusto en tener su presencia en nuestra fiesta Broadway 2003 y con mucho cariño le doy la bienvenida aquí en la ciudad de Los Ángeles de parte de todo el concilio, el alcalde y todos los representantes de la ciudad de Los Ángeles. Igualmente con mi compañera aquí, Jan Perry. Bienvenido.
El otro lado.
Muchas gracias, estoy bastante emocionada, ha sido una mañana muy emotiva, estoy muy orgullosa de mucha gente que es bastante noble. Yo sabía que había ángeles, pero no sabía que estaban en la tierra y no sabía que estaban en Los Ángeles. Entonces, les mando todas las bendiciones a toda la gente que hace posible la ley de Dios, que es ayudar al prójimo, a todos ustedes presentes, la gente del gobierno, a toda mi gente de México. Bueno, pues nos vemos este domingo. Estoy muy emocionada. Muchísimas gracias con toda la gente de la ciudad de Los Ángeles. Dios los bendiga.
She said thank you. She said she's very proud and very honored to be here and very emotional about doing her show on Sunday. And it's really great to be here in the City of Angels. And she knows that I'm very fond of, basically, and believes in angels. And he's feels very emotional about being here with us. So, also, igualmente, gracias a usted por estar con nosotros.
Thank you.
And we also want to bring up someone who you are familiar with, because they have been here before for their public service. As you know, during the last presidential elections in 2000, we went out and did a voter registration and voter participation drive in the Spanish media with this next group, our Grand Marshals for Fiesta Broadway, and we did bring them in to council to recognize them for that public service and civic service, because they firmly believe that being participants in the political process is important. But I do want to tell you that as Grand Marshals, they are here in their official capacity as great musicians and entertainers. So let me bring up Los Tucanes de Tijuana, which include they include vocalist and guitarist Mario Quintero, Lara, a vocalist and accordionist Alfredo Gonzalez, drummers David Servín, Gustavo Labrada, and bassist Mario Moreno. They're the only norteño group to sell a record-breaking 5.5 million albums in Mexico and the United States between 1995 and 1997. Los Tucanes is the second musical group to have 6 songs listed simultaneously. For my friends out there, especially the young people who watch this today, 6 songs at the exact same time on Billboard's 50 top Latin album sales charts. Only the second music group in the history of the Latin albums and Billboard's top 50 to have 6 songs at the
tendrán
same
6
time
canciones al
in
mismo
that
tiempo en
category.
esa
The
categoría.
group was nominated
El
for a
grupo
Latin Grammy in 2000 for their album Al Por Mayor, and again in 2001 for their album Me Gusta Vivir de Noche.
Gusta Vivir
In
de Noche.
2001,
En
we
2002
recognized them for their
reconocemos para
civic
su
participation.
participación cívica.
They were invited to
Fueron
throw out
invitados para aventar el
the
primer
first pitch on September
pitch en
2nd,
septiembre 2 del
2001,
2001.
with the Los Angeles
De Los
Dodgers
Ángeles.
and Viva Los Dodgers
Viva
after
los Dodgers
a
después de
citywide
que
survey of
una encuesta de
Latinos
todos los
chose
latinos
them
escogidos
to receive that
para recibir
honor.
ese honor.
In 2000, and I believe
Y
in
creo que
September
en
2001 was
septiembre
also the
2000
year
también
that
fue
we
el año
were
que estuvimos
doing the Fernando
haciendo el
Valenzuela
Orlando
tribute,
Valenzuela tributo,
if I remember
si
correctly.
recuerdo correctamente.
They, with only 2 weeks,
Solamente 2
in
semanas,
2002, within only 2 weeks of
Con 2
releasing their
semanas de haber
album,
dado su álbum,
Las 16 Más Románticas,
Las 6 más
Los
románticas, Los Tucanes de
Tijuana,
Tijuana.
the group shot to
El
number
grupo
1
mandó
on the
al uno
Billboard charts.
en los charts.
They were nominated for Album of the Year, Fuego de la Vida, in the Mexican Regional Musical category in the 2003 Premio Los Nuestros Latin Music Awards. The band has been
La banda ha
successful in
sido
bringing its
exitosa en
Mexican
traer
regional
sus
sounds to
regionales
not only the United
en
States,
los
but
Estados Unidos,
Spain,
pero
Central
España,
and South
Central y
America.
Sudamérica.
They have been
Ellos
successful in helping the
ayudar
Latino
a la
community
comunidad
of Los Angeles and
Los
have been
Ángeles
very
y ha
committed
sido
in spreading the
commitida en
Mexican
poner
tradition of los
tradición mexicana
corridos
de los corridos
and have been chosen to preside this year over Fiesta Broadway 14, the nation's largest free Cinco de Mayo celebration as our Grand Marshals. So I'm also going to, on behalf of the city of Los Angeles, de parte de la ciudad de Los Ángeles, para ustedes los Tucanes, les quiero dar este reconocimiento. Reconociendo que ustedes son nuestro gran mariscal para Fiesta Broadway 2003 y por todo lo que ustedes han hecho para la comunidad latina y por la ciudad de Los Ángeles y todo lo que ustedes hacen en su música para abrir las puertas a otros países que reconocen, para que ellos puedan reconocer nuestra herencia y nuestra cultura de los latinos y los mexicanos. De parte de la ciudad de Los Ángeles me da mucho gusto presentarle a este reconocimiento a ustedes.
Buenos días a todos. Primero que nada, agradecemos a Dios que nos permite estar aquí, en este lugar, pues donde sentimos que hay un gran cariño por nuestra música norteña, nuestra música mexicana. Y pues gracias a Los Ángeles, gracias a la comunidad hispana, gracias a la comunidad latina. Recuerdo en algunos años atrás cuando los Tucanes no nos conocía a nadie y la fiesta de Broadway nos hacía la invitación para amenizar en este gran evento. Hecho por la comunidad hispana, comunidad latina, y pues gracias a la fiesta Broadway conoció mucha gente a los Tucanes de Tijuana y ahora pues ser mariscales de la fiesta Broadway es un gran honor para nosotros. Gracias a Los Ángeles, a nombre de todo el equipo de Tucanes, que Dios los bendiga a todos y a nosotros que no nos olviden. Gracias.
Before Mr. Councilmember Reyes, first, he wanted to thank
Primero
God
que darle
for
gracias a
allowing
Dios
us
por dejarlo
to be present here with
de
us,
presentar
for
con
all the success,
nosotros,
and that they have really enjoyed
de veras
being a part of
disfrutar de
Fiesta
ser parte
Broadway.
de Fiesta Broadway.
Fiesta Broadway is a part
Como que es
of,
parte.
they've been here before
Han
and
estado
really
aquí
feel
y
that
de
that
veras
helps them
sienten que
and
los
helps
ayudo
bring about
traerle su
recognition of
reconocimiento
not only
de
of
saber
who los
no de
Tucanes are,
son
but
los
their
Tucanes,
music and
pero su
what
música,
it means to the Latino
lo que dice la
community,
comunidad
not
latina,
only here in Los Angeles,
que
but
Los
all
Ángeles,
over,
pero todas
and they
partes.
just wanted to
Nos querían dar
thank
las
Los
gracias a
Angeles
Los
and
Ángeles,
Fiesta Broadway for
Fiesta
now
Broadway
making
para
and
hacer
inviting them to be Grand Marshals.
mariscales. Señores. Señor presidente del Consejo.
Además quiero decir bienvenidos a Los Ángeles y les quiero dar las gracias por celebrando nuestra cultura. También la Elisa Villarreal, los Tucanes de Tijuana, tenemos la oportunidad de celebrar una cultura bien bella y con la presentación de ustedes seguimos expresando esa belleza con el talento y todo lo que han logrado hasta hoy. Muchas gracias.
Mr. Labange.
Señor Labange.
Pacheco, congratulations to all the
Felicitaciones a todos los participantes y también más quiero dar las gracias a McDonald's Corporación porque muchas de las parques
benefit for their playground program, and we need to have more of that, the awareness that this gives. But also all Angelinos to enjoy a festival on Broadway and hear the music
y
pound
la
off the
música
buildings.
de los
Very
edificios es
exciting
muy
to see
excitante
everybody
verlo a todos.
enjoy that.
Disfrutar
Congratulations
eso,
to
muchas
everybody and our
felicitaciones a todos,
special guests
especialmente
to
a
our
los
city.
invitados a
Welcome
la
to
ciudad
Los Angeles.
felicidad de Los Ángeles.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, colleagues.
Colegas.
Thank you, Mr. Pacheco.
Gracias,
Colleagues,
Pacheco,
unless
colegas.
there's an objection, as
Si
I
no hay una
mentioned
objeción,
before,
como mencioné
what I'd like to
anteriormente,
do is take
me
a
gustaría
brief
hacer tal vez
pause
una
in
pausa
the presentation
en
segment
esta
of today's
presentación de la
agenda
agenda de hoy
and go through
y
the
repasar
matters appearing
las
on
que están
today's agenda.
presentes en este asunto.
Yes, sir, we haven't finished this item yet.
Tenemos
We're going
sobre
to
este
take
asunto, vamos
a
a
brief
tomar
pause on it. We'll be
una
right back.
pausa
On this specific
en este
aspect of the
aspecto
item.
específico
Okay.
del
The
asunto.
law requires
La
before
requiere.
or during consideration of the item.
Mr. Hayes, you're absolutely right, and we have not finished
hemos
with this
terminado
element. So we're
con
going to proceed with the other items on today's agenda.
la agenda de hoy.
Madam Clerk,
Por favor,
first item, please.
primer asunto.
Approval of the minutes.
Aprobación de los
Mr.
minutos
Lewis and
sobre
Mr.
el
White,
señor
seconds.
Wells.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Mr. Parks moves and Ms. Galanter seconds.
Before beginning the regular agenda, there is a
La
request to
gente
continue
empezó
item
para
number
contar el asunto
23 to May
23
6th.
hasta mayo de 6.
Members request to continue
Pido
item number
continuar el asunto
23.
23.
Mr. Holden
Holden
objects.
objeta.
We'll assume
Vamos a asumir.
he'll call that matter special.
On the regular agenda, Mr. President, items 2 and 3 are confirmations to the Relocation Appeals Board. Communication from the Chair of Economic Development and Employment Committee has been submitted. A public hearing has not been held in committee.
Okay. Columns, items 2 and
Colegas,
3
asunto
are
2 y 3
confirmation
son
of city
confirmaciones de los
officials.
oficiales.
We do not have
No
a
tenemos
request from members of the
una petición por
public to
miembros
address
del
the
pueblo
council on these matters, so we shall deem the public hearings open and closed. Are the members wishing to be heard on these items? Items 2 or 3? If not, we have
Si
Mr.
no,
Burnson
tenemos al
recommending
Brenzo recomendando
approval
la aprobación.
of these nominees.
Estos nominados.
Without discussion, then, Madam
Discusión.
Clerk, please open the
Por
roll.
favor, se la lista.
Please close the roll
Cierra la
and
lista.
tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
14 sí.
Items 2 and 3 are approved. Mr.
Estaban
Holden,
aprobados.
I just wanted to know where
Más
they
que
were,
saber dónde estaban.
these two individuals.
Justo dos individuos.
Mr. Burnson.
Señor Brenzo.
I have no idea where one of them is,
Uno
but
de esta
Mr.
pero
Gibbs
el
is
señor
ill
Gibbs
and
está
was
enfermo y
unable
no
to
pudo
attend.
atender.
That I would move his
No, and what about the other individual?
Que el otro individuo.
Very good.
Do not have an answer for you, Mr. Holden. If there's someone from the
Si
mayor's
alguien de la
office to
oficina de
answer
la
that
ciudad para
question.
contestar esa pregunta.
But otherwise,
De
Mr.
otra
Holden,
manera,
these
señor
are
Holden, estas son
reappointments, not
son
new
appointos,
appointments
no son
to the
appointos.
board. So unless there's
Entonces, a menos que haya
concern,
una
issue,
preocupación,
these
una
matters
cuestión,
have
esta
been
cuestión ya se
approved.
votaron y aprobadas.
Let's proceed.
Vamos a
Those
proceder.
matters
Esas son
forthwith, please.
para adelante, por favor.
Item number 12 is
Asunto número
also
2 también es
confirmation
confirmación.
of Clifford W. Graves to
Clifford W.
the
Graves.
Community
Con
Development
el desarrollo
Department,
del
and there is
departamento.
also an
También
ERC
la
recommendation.
recomendación de ERC.
Okay, members, if there's going to be
Miembros, si
discussion
ven
on
una
this matter,
discusión en
we
este
should
asunto,
probably
debemos
call
por
it
la
special.
especial.
Otherwise,
De otra manera, Presidente, vamos a votar con el asunto número 2.
members wishing to be
Miembros que deseen
called
ser
as matter
oídos,
special.
llamarle especial.
Seeing none,
Yo sin ninguna.
Madam Clerk, please open the
Ábrese la
roll on
lista.
item number
El
12.
asunto número 2.
Please close the roll
Cierre la
and
lista y
tabulate the
establece el
vote.
voto.
14 ayes.
14 sí.
Congratulations.
Felicitaciones.
You have a lot of work ahead of you.
Mucho trabajo de
Welcome aboard. Forward move, please, on
Venga
item
para adelante,
12.
por favor, asunto número 2.
Next item, please.
Item number 22 is
El asunto
confirmation of
22
Mr. Miguel
es
Contreras to the
Miguel
Board of
Contreras para
Airport
la Cámara
Commissioners,
de
Commerce,
Comisiones
Energy, and
de
Natural
Aeropuertos.
Resources Committee waived consideration. A public hearing has not been held.
Uh-oh. And I do have cards on this
Tenemos
side.
tarjeta en este asunto.
We have to call this special.
Tenemos que esté especial.
You're not on the clock anyway, are you?
No está en el reloj.
Item 22, call special.
Asunto de especial.
We're not there quite yet, Mr. Labange. We'll get
Estamos
there. Madam Clerk.
On the regular
En la
agenda,
agenda
item number
regular,
1 is
asunto
an
número
item
1 es un
notice for
asunto
public
neto para
hearing, and I
audiencia
believe a
pública. Yo
card
creo una
has been
tarjeta se han
submitted for that
sometido
item.
para ese
If you
asunto.
have a card, item number
Tenemos
1,
otro
let's call this
asunto
matter
número 1
special.
es especial.
Next items are items for which public hearings have been held. Items 4 through 21. I believe item number 11, Councilmember Han requests that item be withdrawn from council and referred to the Education Neighborhood Committee.
Okay. With that, any comment on item 11?
Yeah, I wanted to
Quiero
just
yo
ask, make a
pedir
comment
a
on
ese
record about
comentario
11,
recaso
so
de
I would
11
like to call that
que
special.
me digo
Okay,
especial.
let's call that special.
Vamos a
The
hacer
members
especial,
please
pero
know
muy
the chair of
especial
the
para que
committee has
la
asked that matter to be
sí, que sea
referred back
referido
to the committee.
al comité.
And Mr. LeBlanc
El señor
called
Laban
item
llama
21
asunto 21 especial.
Items 4
El
through
número
21
4 al
currently
21
before
está
us.
enfrente de nosotros.
14 special.
14 especial.
14 call special by
14
Mr.
especial por el señor Holden.
Holden. 18 call special
5
by
por el
Ms.
señor
Blanchard.
Galante.
On these batch of
En
items,
estos
colleagues, as you know, public hearing has
la
been
audiencia
held in
pública se
committee.
hizo en el comité.
So a motion from the
Tengo una
floor
moción del
requires
piso
to
para
reopen the
requerirse
public
para abrir la
hearing.
audiencia
Mr.
por el señor Reyes.
Thank you, Council President.
Gracias,
Items
Gerardo.
15 and
Asunto
16
15,
special
16 y
and
especial y
26.
26.
15, 16,
15, 16.
call special by
Llama
Mr.
especial
Reyes.
por el
and
señor
we'll
Reyes y
call
vamos a
item
llamar
26
asunto 26 especial
when we
cuando
get there.
lleguemos ahí.
Members, items 4 through
Miembros del sur 4
21
al 21.
before us. Any
Frente a
other
nosotros algún otro
specials?
especial.
Seeing none,
Pero si
Madam
ninguna,
Clerk,
por
please
favor,
open the
se
roll
la
and balance
lista en
the
la
items.
balance en los asuntos.
Please close the roll
Se la lista.
and tabulate the vote.
Establece el voto.
14 ayes.
Entonces, sí, están aprobados.
Next items, please.
Próximo asunto, por favor.
Next items,
Próximo
Mr.
asunto, señor
President.
presidente.
Items 22
Asuntos
through
22 al
30 are
30
items for which
son
public
asuntos por la
hearings have
audiencia
not
pública
been
no se
held.
han hecho.
And I have cards
Yo
on
tengo
items
tarjetas
22 and
22 y
23.
23.
Those matters are called
Asuntos
special.
llama especiales.
Previously called special.
Previamente llama
Mr.
especiales.
Reyes
Señor
called
Reyes
item
llama el
26
asunto
special.
26 especial.
Ms. Rule.
President, I think Mr. Reyes 26, we're
Entonces,
referring it just back to
está
Plum, is that
nomás
correct?
el regreso
So
a la
if we
Plum.
can, and we
Si
have a letter
podemos
from,
una
I think,
tarjeta
Plum that
de
says it can
que
go back
dice
to
que puede
Plum.
regresar a Plum.
Is there any further discussion on that,
Entonces,
Mr. Reyes?
discusión, señor Reyes.
Okay, then this matter is not called
Entonces, nos
special
llama
without
especial sin
objection.
objeción.
Item 26 is
Asunto
referred
26
to the
referido al
committee.
comité de
And I
Plum.
believe item number
Y creo que el
24 needs
asunto
to be called
24
special
debe
for
ser
Councilmember
pasado con
Parks to
miembro
recuse
Consejo para
himself
esperar
from that item.
recluso de ese
24
asiento.
call special.
Llama
Any other
especial a un
specials?
otro
25
especial.
I think
and
Mr.
27 through 30.
Mr. Parks,
Señor Park,
I think I and
yo
others
creo y otros.
are concerned about
Pues
item
el progreso
25.
25.
Probably there's an incentive program
Ese es un
there.
programa incentivo.
Could be,
Is that a request to call this matter special?
Especial.
Okay, 25 call special
25
by
llama
Mr.
especial
Holden.
Holden.
We have items
Tenemos
27
asunto
through 30 still
27 al
before
30
us.
enfrente a
Any other
nosotros. ¿Algún otro
specials?
especial?
Any other specials? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please open the
Ábrese
roll
la
and
lista,
balance of the items.
ábranse los asuntos,
Please close the roll
ábrese la
and
lista y
tabulate the
tabúlese el
vote.
voto.
14 ayes.
14
Those are
sí,
approved.
esos están aprobados.
Next item, please.
Próximo
On the
asunto, en
continuation agenda,
continuación de
item
la
number
agenda,
31
asunto
is an
31
item
es
for
un
which public
asunto
hearing
para
has
esa
been held
ya
as
se
a
hizo.
public convenience or necessity
Conveniencia,
in Council
necesidad del
District
concejal
12. A
número
motion is
12,
required
una
to grant the
resolución se requiere
application.
para dar la
Item 31 is
solicitud
now
del
before us.
31
We have
que nosotros
held public
tenemos
hearing on
audiencia
this
pública en
item.
este asunto.
Unless I hear a motion from
Nos
the
queda una
floor
moción
to
del
reopen
piso
the
para
public
abrir la
hearing,
audiencia pública.
we shall proceed.
Vamos a proceder.
We do need a
Tenemos
motion
una
on this.
moción en
Mr.
esto.
Burnson, this is in
Señor
your
Burnson,
district.
esto es un distrito.
Item 31.
Asunto 31.
Mr. Burnson moves
Señor Burnson,
approval.
número de aprobación.
Is there any
¿Hay una
discussion?
discusión?
Seeing none,
Fíjese
Madam
ninguna.
Clerk, please open the roll.
Ábrase la lista.
Please close the roll
Ciérrese la lista.
and tabulate the
Ábrase el
vote.
voto.
14 ayes.
14 sí.
That is approved.
Está aprobado.
Next item, please.
Próximo asunto, por favor.
Next item, Mr. President, item number
Asunto
32
número
on the
32 en la
continuation agenda
obtención
is
de
an
la
item
gente
for
es
which
un
public
asunto que la
hearing has
audiencia
not
pública
been
no se
held.
ha hecho.
Members, item 32 now before us. We do not have requests from members of the public
Pues,
to
miembro del
address the
público,
council
habla
on
con
this
su-
item.
con este asunto.
Mr. Weiss wishes to
Señor Weiss,
call that
se llama
special.
especial.
We recognize that the
Tenemos que
public
conocer que la
hearing
audiencia pública
is open and
está
closed.
abierta.
Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Going back to the items called special, item number 1 was called special inasmuch as there's card from the
Before
public.
we get to items called special, let's return to the presentation
Empezando
section
la
of the
presentación de
agenda.
la agenda.
For our next presentation,
Otra representación.
You have Mr. Labange,
Tenemos al señor Labange.
ready to go.
Esto para empezar.
I'm joined by Dr.
Estoy con el doctor
Ed from our
Roscoe,
Los Angeles Zoo, and
del
some
zoológico de Los
very,
Ángeles.
very, very special people
Gente muy
behind
especial
me.
atrás de mí.
On Thursday,
El jueves,
January 16th,
enero 16.
Miniak, a 21-year-old male orangutan underwent a major surgical procedure at the new Animal Health Center at the Los Angeles Zoo and Botanical Garden.
En el zoológico y
This orangutan had been treated for many years with an infection involving their respiratory system. When the infection became non-responsive to antibiotic therapy, it was determined that a decision be made for a surgical solution. In a groundbreaking surgical procedure, a mature orangutan, the entire air sac of Miniac was removed. This 6-hour surgery involved the coordinated effort of zoo veterinarian staff and a team of health experts right behind me who gave freely of their time, expertise, and talent, and of their morning today to come down here and be recognized by the City Council. This was a extremely successful operation, and I wanted to call this team in to recognize them for what they've done for this orangutan and for veterinary science and for helping our Los Angeles Zoo. And if you could give a little background on this, I would greatly appreciate it.
Good morning.
Buenos días.
All the great apes or the man-like apes possess some very complex laryngeal air sacs. These sacs wind up through the chest and up through the neck region. The purpose of those air sacs is one of communication. They help the animal resonate their voice, or in the case even of gorillas, echo in enlarge the chest thumping, again, which is a declaration of territory. Rarely do these air sacs become infected. Occasionally they do, and it's a chronic infection. And Miniac came to us with this problem from Emory University. They brought him to California, figuring California sunshine outside air at least improve his quality of life. Well, unfortunately, this has deteriorated over a period of time, and it was necessary then to do some drastic surgery. I'm going to introduce Dr. Cynthia Stringfield. She's our head veterinarian, and she'll give you a brief outlet of what happened in that operation and how the medical community helped us in this endeavor.
Hello, we're very happy to be here today. I just wanted to say a word to acknowledge the two veterinarians from the zoo who couldn't be here today. One of them just arrived with our gorillas in Denver. He's been on the road for 20 hours. Dr. Leah Greer, who has pioneered this procedure with our human specialists, and also Dr. Jana Nguyen from the zoo, who was very involved in the success of this procedure. We are so lucky to be in the city of Los Angeles, and over the past 10 years at the zoo, I have constantly referred to our human specialists when we have cases involving our primates and our great apes, and relied on their expertise, which is completely and totally voluntary on their part. And they have done an incredible job for Miniac, the orangutan that we're discussing today. And so we'd just like to publicly thank them for all their efforts and their hard work on his behalf and on the behalf of the animals of the Los Angeles Zoo.
This is Dr.
Ese es el Dr. Ralph Watkin.
Thank you very much for
Muchas
inviting
gracias
us
por
today.
invitarnos hoy.
Just want to say as
Más
a
que
human
decir como
physician
doctor
that
humano que la causa de la diagnosis y entendimiento y tratamiento de enfermedades humanas ha sido tremendamente avanzado por contribución médica de veterinarios. En cuanto hemos aprendido a reciprocar, estamos felices de hacerlo. Gracias. El doctor Edwards acaba de establecer el doctor Ralph Watkin. Quiero presentar este certificado a usted y dar las gracias por lo que usted hace todos los días y por lo que hizo para el orangutan especial. Gracias. Gracias.
Mr. President,
if I could just present them all,
Quiero
Mr. Holden, real
presentarlos
quick.
I'd like to ask one question.
Okay.
You mentioned Emory
Usted
University.
mencionó la Universidad de Emory.
Where's it located?
¿Dónde está localizada? Georgia.
What, Macon? Emory's in Atlanta,
Emory
not
está en
Macon.
Atlanta, Macon.
All right.
Primate research station.
Estás
Good
en
school, right?
Pardon?
investigación, buena escuela.
For sure.
One of my deputies is
Uno de
got his
diputados,
brother in
su hermano
Now,
está.
they've recently improved the Atlanta Zoo. It's
medical
really
school
doing
there.
well.
And you helped out with Morehouse, too. You guys work together.
Right.
This is Dr.
Es el
Tasia
doctor Isha
Economou. We want to
Economou.
thank you, Dr.
Quiero
Tasia
agradecerte,
Economou. Thank you.
Gracias.
From Chicago,
De
Illinois.
Chicago, Illinois.
Okay, good. See? Dr. Jim Economou,
Jim Economou.
your brother. We
Su
want to
hermano,
thank your
quiero
brother
darle
for
a su
what he
hermano
did
por
in
lo
that.
que hizo
Dr.
en eso,
Bob
Bob
Cooper
Cooper.
is not with
No
us
está con
today.
nosotros.
And then also we
Y
have here
también
this
tenemos
morning
esta mañana
Dr. Tarash Turan. Give him a big
Tiene
hand
un
for
gran
his
aplauso por
efforts.
sus esfuerzos.
And Belén Garcia.
Belén Garcia.
Can't do without
No
the
podemos hacer
support.
lo que nos
Thank you,
dice
Belén.
soporte. Gracias, Belén.
Okay, please everybody
Por
give them a
favor,
great
dale
hand
un
because what you
aplauso
have
por
is
lo que
the
tienen
Los
esos
Angeles Zoo and the
son que
veterinary
los alzos
and
veterinarios.
then the good doctors and
Los
support
buenos
staff.
doctores,
Thank you for
soporte,
what
muchas
you did
gracias
for
por lo que hicieron.
the zoo.
Por el trabajo.
Thank you, Mr. Labange.
Señor Labange.
Recognize you again for one more
Recibe otra vez por
presentation.
otra
Los Angeles
presentación.
Stacy, this weekend, Sunday with Fiesta
También
Broadway,
con
but
Fiesta
to
Broadway, pero
join with the fire
estar con el
department,
departamento de
Chief Doug
bomberos, el
Graff,
jefe
battalion
Doug
chief, the Walk America,
en Bienvenida América.
Walkathon in Griffith
La
Park and other
caminata
sites
por
throughout.
otros lugares
Our
para
employees are the
nuestros
number
empleados, el
one
número
in the
uno en
nation
la nación
of any public
de cualquier
service
servicio
agency,
público de agencia.
any government agency,
El
of
gobierno del
contributing
gobierno
more money
contribuyendo
for
más
healthy
dinero
babies.
para
Over 20 years, we've been a leader in that cause, and the fire department is our lead department here. We want to thank all the city employees who are involved in that and all the support they get. Tomorrow, come out to Park Central in Griffith Park for a wonderful walk. And Chief, you want to say a few words?
Algunas palabras.
Sure, Tom,
Gracias, Tom.
coming over here as
Viniendo hoy
I knew
aquí,
I'd have a little
yo
bit of
sabía
time
que
to
tiene un
talk,
poco de
and you
tiempo de
said
hablar.
part
Usted
already,
dijo parte de
20
ella.
years, over 20 years,
20 años.
employees of the city of Los
Empleados de la
Angeles have
ciudad de
been
Los
proud,
Ángeles,
raising
orgullosos.
the number one municipal
Educador
amount every
municipal,
year.
cantidad cada año.
We're going to have over
Vamos
1,000
a
of our
tener más
employees
de
here
nuestros
tomorrow,
empleados ahí
and
mañana
probably as
y
many as
probablemente tanto
10,000
así como
city
10,000
people from the
gentes
city
de la
there
ciudad
to make this a
para hacer
success.
esto un éxito.
And as well as that, we
Y
get
también
great
como eso
support
va un gran
from
soporte de
Farmers Insurance,
Farmers
from
Insurance,
Vons,
de
Toyota,
Toyota,
and our own
y
Department of
nuestro
Water and
departamento
Power, as far as Big Five and Northbridge Grumman. So I want to welcome and thank the fire department and all city employees and their coordinators for leadership in Walk America for March and Dimes. Healthy babies. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Labange.
Señor Labange.
Colleagues, we will continue in
Vamos a
about
continuar
3
como
minutes
en
with the
3 minutos
presentations,
con
but
las
with your indulgence,
presentaciones
we'll
por
take
la
up item
indulgencia que va a
22
tomar
because
el
we have
asunto
a
viene
commissioner
porque tenemos
nominee who needs
comisión
to leave.
nominado que
We can
necesita
take
irse.
up item number 22,
Tenemos
and we have 2
122,
public
tenemos
speaker
dos
cards.
tarjetas
Madam
para
Clerk.
Item number
Del
22 is
22 es
confirmation of Mr. Miguel
confirmación de
Contreras
Mr.
to the Board of
Miguel Contreras
Airport
a la
Commissioners,
Cámara
Commerce,
de
Energy, and Natural
Aeropuertos.
Resources Committee waived consideration.
Can I call C.L.
Podría
Parrish
ser
and John
Pérez
Dale
y
forward
John
at this
Dale
time?
para ahorita.
Are there either of them here?
¿Alguno de ellos están aquí?
If you can please
Por
keep your
favor,
comments about 1
pueden
minute.
comentarios como en
Just with the
minutos.
busy schedule, that'd be great. 1 minute each, not
Una
all together.
horario,
And
un
please state
minuto
your
cada
name
uno
before
y
you
los
speak.
juntos.
Thank you.
Digan su nombre.
My name is John Dale. Thank you, Mr. President. I'm here to voice
Estoy
my
aquí para
support
hacer
for
mi
Miguel
soporte para
Contreras
Miguel
and express
Contreras y
my
expresar
pleasure
mi
in the
placer
nomination
en
of a
la
person
nominación de
of
una
Mr.
persona que
Contreras'
son Contreras
experience,
experimenta.
the experience
La
of listening
experiencia
and
de oír y
negotiating for the
negociar
concerns
para
of
las
citizens
preocupaciones de
that sometimes
ciudadanos que a
become
veces se hacen
victims.
víctimas.
I'm an employee of Air
Yo soy
Canada
empleado de Air
Airlines.
Canada
A few weeks
Airlines hace
ago,
unas
Air
semanas.
Canada
Air
filed for
Canada, pues,
bankruptcy.
sí, bueno,
In a Dow Jones press release dated April 18th,
en
there
abril
was this
18
comment.
este comentario.
Stock analysts have
Stock
said that the
analysts habían
company's
dicho
shares are
que
likely to
las
become worthless during the restructuring. Not
no
exactly good
valían,
news
no
for
es buena
someone
buena
who is
antes es
counting
para
on
el
that
que está
stock to
contando
supplement
ese.
his retirement. But it
En la
could be
bolsa,
worse.
pero podría ser peor.
As we are all
Como
aware,
que lo sabemos,
there has been one
ha habido
stabilizing sector in our
un sector
economy,
estabilizado en nuestra
the real
economía,
estate
el
market. So the
mercado
good news is that I'm a
en este caso que soy
homeowner, and
dueño
the
de
real
casa,
estate
el
market has
mercado
actually
en sí
grown.
ha crecido.
But then again, there could be
Entonces
some bad
podría haber
news.
unas malas
What if
noticias,
my home
que
is
si mi
located
casa
in
está localizada en
Manchester
Manchester
Square
Square,
near
junto a LAX.
In April of
En abril de
1999, I received a
1990 yo
letter
recibí una
informing
carta
us about the
informando acerca
voluntary
de la
acquisition
creación de
and
la
relocation program
relocación del programa
for Manchester
para
Square
Manchester
and a meeting to be
y
held
esto
on
aparecer en abril 29.
My wife and I,
Eso igual es
pardon me?
If I can just ask you
Le
to
voy a pedir
conclude
que
your
concluya.
statements.
Okay.
Thank you.
On December
Diciembre
28th, we had
28
our,
tuvimos
of year 2000, we had our first appraisal. It came back
Después regresó
for our four-bedroom
para nuestras
home as a
recámaras
three-bedroom
como
home.
3 recámaras.
It took 7.5
Tomó
months
700
to receive
meses
the
para
correction
recibir
showing the
la corrección
fourth bedroom.
Sir, we're speaking about the nomination today of Mr. Contreras, which I know you addressed.
And I'm getting to that.
Okay, if you can bring it back to that.
Bear with me just one minute.
Point of order.
Un punto.
The gentleman,
Caballero,
this is public comment,
es comentario.
and there's no timeline.
Appreciate that.
So unless we vote to have a
Nos
timeline.
comentamos en poder.
So let the gentleman finish his
Que continúe
statement.
su
and then,
declaración.
We're keeping this consistent with policy, don't worry.
Consistente con
well, that's not the
Please
policy.
continue.
We have to vote.
Tenemos que.
Thank you. I'll be brief. The good news
La
is
buena
about 21
noticia es que
months after we
20 meses
received our
después que
second
recibimos la
appraisal
segunda
and 3
evaluación
ombudsman persons
y
later,
3 personas después,
we were in our
subimos en
replacement home
nuestra
in Westchester and had agreed on
replación,
compensation
estuvimos de
offered
acuerdo
by
con la
LA
compensación
World
ofrecida
Airports.
por
The
el
process that was supposed to
proceso
take
que
6
debería tomar
months
6
to a
meses,
year took
a un
almost
año
3
tomó
years.
3 años.
The bad news is
La
that we
noticia es que
are considered one of the
estamos
lucky
considerando
ones.
los
There are still so many families left in Manchester
con
Square
suerte de
that
San
need
Juan,
to be
muchos que
heard and
necesitan ser
negotiated
oídos y
for in this
negociar para
ongoing
este
acquisition process. So you can see why
Entonces
I'm
pueden ver
confident
por
that
qué estoy
Mr.
confiado que el señor
Contreras'
Contreras,
experience and
experiencia y
expertise will prove to
experiencia
be
va a
an
probar
invaluable
eso
asset to the communities and neighborhoods surrounding
para
Los Angeles
los
International
alrededor
Airport.
del
Thank you.
aeropuerto.
Thank you for your
Muchas gracias por su
understanding.
tiempo.
Appreciate it very
Gracias.
much. C.L. Parrish.
Good afternoon.
Buenas tardes.
I'm here
No sé,
supporting
hay que soportar
the nomination of
la
Miguel
nominación de
Contreras
Miguel
to the
Contreras a
Airport
la
Commission
comisión del
for
aeropuerto
one reason and one
por una
reason
razón y
only,
una razón sola.
is that he
Y es que él
represents the common
represente
person
la
and he's
persona
sympathetic
común y
to
es
the
simpático a la
people,
gente.
unlike those
No
of the
como
Airport
esos de la
Commission.
comisión del
What I have to
aeropuerto.
say
Lo que
today
tengo
is
que
not
decir es
good
que no es
news.
buenas noticias.
We have, as a
Nosotros
Manchester
tenemos
Square
como
residents,
Manchester Square
approached the Airport
recientes
Commission
la
on
comisión del
many
aeropuerto en
occasions, for 1
muchas
year
ocasiones por
myself
un año yo
personally,
personalmente.
on violations of the Uniform Act of 1970 that's known as 49 CFR Part 24. The LAX Airport Acquisition and Relocation Staff has engaged in unlawful procedures and discrimination and coercion of persons to sell their homes. We have appealed to the Airport Commission with no avail. I've taken my claims in writing to the Office of the Inspector General of the United States of America, and I have had a response, and there is an inquiry right now going on LAX's procedures. There's also been a verification from the State of California Office of Real Estate Appraisers claiming that the airport appraisers are incompetent. I have it in writing. The appraisals are faulty, and they have compromised the acquisition of the Manchester Square residents, about 586 families.
If we can please bring it back to Mr. Contreras, so we can keep this on topic.
Sir,
Thank you.
I'll wrap this up with a conclusion. And the reason for me being here today, the question was asked, why am I supporting a man which I have not met? Why is Mr. Miguel Contreras important in my life and those of all the families of Manchester Square? Is because that he represents the common persons, the laborers. He fights against the very thing LAX is committing. He stands against discrimination and coercion and unlawful acts and abuse of power that LAX is committing. So I stand today to support Miguel to the Airport Commission, and we hope that he will assist us with our fights against LAX.
Thank you for your testimony, and thank you for your understanding as well. Mr. Contreras, if you'd like to come forward, any colleagues wishing to be heard on Mr. Contreras' nomination? Mr. Holden.
Mr. Contreras to
Contreras para responder. Hay gente que habla acerca de expropiación de sus propiedades. Y como se es que tiene la cuestión, cómo va a ser algo, va a ser para hacer la diferencia porque están aquí, porque están soportando.
Those issues at Manchester Square. I'm familiar with some of the issues given the fact that 2 years ago I was on the Airport Commission, so I'm familiar, but I got to really catch up to what's going on there. I think there's a lot of issues with environmental justice at the airport that have to be addressed. Clearly we can't ramrod any projected expansion or renovation of the airport without looking at some of the issues and being a good neighbor to the cities of Manchester, Inglewood, and other cities. So we're going to part of my responsibility is to make sure to ensure that there's whatever
Cualquier curso que tomemos que tenemos que llevar esas cuestiones de justicia en la comunidad. Otra pregunta es que díganos sobre su antecedentes. Yo sé quién es, pero el público sabe por qué usted ha sido apuntado y lo que trae usted a esta comisión. Y cómo es que visiona lo que va a ser, pero cambios positivos. Claro.
I serve as the
Yo he
Executive
servido
Secretary
como el
Treasurer of the Los
secretario
Angeles County
ejecutivo de la
Federation of Labor,
Federación de
AFL-CIO.
Trabajos del
We
CEO.
have
Tenemos
340 locals
340
in
locales
Los
en
Angeles,
Los Ángeles.
and our
Y
membership
son
comprises about 810,000 union members
300,000
in the city of LA.
en la ciudad de Los Ángeles.
As we go around the airport commission, we want to address a lot of the issues that workers concerns out there at the airport. You know, there's about 52,000 jobs at the airport.
En el
That
aeropuerto.
we want to make sure that those
Queremos estar
jobs are the kind
seguros
of
que sean
jobs
la
that
clase
are
de
stable
trabajos,
jobs,
sean
that
trabajos
provide
estables que
decent
proveen
living wages, and
salarios
jobs that the
decentes y
community
trabajos que la
community have
humanidad
access to.
tengan
So,
acceso.
the idea of
La idea de
having labor voice back on
tener
the airport commission, I
la
think is
comisión de
very
aeropuertos
important.
es muy importante.
All right, I just basically want
Lo
to
que
say
básicamente
that
quiero decir que
I would hope that your
esperaría
vision
que
would
su
be that
visión
labor
sea
and business
de
work
trabajo
together.
y negocio
because
trabajo
one
juntos
can't
porque
survive
uno puede
without the
subir
other.
en el otro.
If you destroy
Si
the business
destruye el
element,
elemento de
within the city
negocios
of Los
histórico de la
Angeles that
ciudad
regard,
acerca
then
de
of
eso,
course labor,
entonces
there won't be any
no
labor,
va
there
a
won't be
haber
any jobs.
trabajo, no va a haber
And so
trabajos.
that should be
Eso
first
debe
and
ser
foremost,
primero.
I think, and I'm
Y yo creo
hopeful that
que
you will
espero que
continue to
usted
work in
continúe
that vein.
trabajando en
I
esa
want to say, however, that
vena.
in
Yo
my
quiero decir,
view,
pero en mi vista,
and I know that
yo
the
sé
position
que
you
la
hold,
posición que usted tiene,
and you've been very
y usted
supportive of
me
me when the
soportó
those
de
are
mí
against me.
cuando los votos
But
están
the fact
contra
of
mí,
it is,
pero que
loyalty
es
is
que loyalidad
everything.
es todo.
And that's something
Y
that
eso
one
es algo
person
que una
cannot
persona
betray.
no puede
It's another
cambiar.
person's
Es otra,
loyalty.
la lealtad de
They may
otra
not
persona. La mejor
dot every I
de
you
dar
want
todos los
the way
ojos que
across every
quiere
T.
cruzar por todas las
But I'm
Pero
willing
yo
to
estoy
know that
dispuesto a
most of
apostarle
the
a que
people
casi
that
toda la
have
gente
been
que
supportive of you
todos
and your
ustedes
labor movement are good people.
son buena gente.
Sometimes,
Y a veces,
no matter how much
no
support they
importa
give
cuánto
you in the
soporte
labor
le den en el
movement,
movimiento
that turns out
laboral,
not to be good
a lo
enough.
mejor no es
And
suficiente.
for whatever reason
Y por
that you
cualquier
choose
razón que
sides
usted escoja lados a
sometimes,
veces
it's devastating
es
to
devastante
individuals
para
who
individuos
give all
que
they
dan todo lo
can
que
give to
pueden
labor
dar
movement
al
in
movimiento
order to look up
laboral
and find
para poder
that
encontrar
labor is against them
por
for no good reason.
ninguna razón.
So, you know,
Gracias,
my
Juan.
time is still going.
No, we had to reset it.
Tenemos
I
que
made an error,
reponerle
so I've
es
been
un
counting
error,
it
estoy
manually.
contando
All right,
manualmente.
so I'm just making a statement.
Es una
He's a
declaración.
labor movement, isn't he? You gonna interrupt me again?
No, I was just letting you know that your time was coming to an end, so if you want to wrap it up.
All right, go ahead. Thank you for the consideration and
Gracias por la
respect.
consideración y el respeto.
The fact of the matter is
El
that
hecho es que
it all works together for
todo
good.
trabaja junto bien.
And as I was
Y
about to
como
say
se iba a
to
decir,
you, my train of thought was attempted to be changed,
está
that
tentado que
loyalty is everything.
lealtad es todo.
And I tell you
Y
that
le digo
the
que
people I work
la
with in
gente
this
con la que
council,
trabajo en este consejo,
every single one of
todos
them
uno de
will
ellos
stand up
van a
and
pararse
defend the
y
working men
defienden
and
el
women
trabajo
of
que
the
muchos
city,
hombres y mujeres de
will
la
march
ciudad
on their behalf
marchan
they
en parte de
have
ellos que
for
tienen
the office workers.
por los trabajadores de las
And I
oficinas.
want you to know that
Quiero que sepa que
it sometimes hurts
a
them
veces los
when they
lastima
find
cuando encuentran
someone tells
que
them
alguien les
that
dice
labor say they're not
que
good people or they have a
laboral
reason
no es buena
for
gente o una
unknowns
grupo
to us
desconocida a
that they want to
nosotros
make those
que
kind of
quieren hacer esa
changes.
clase de
I
cambios.
think you have to search your
Yo creo que
heart
usted buscar su corazón,
deep into your heart
su
sometimes.
corazón.
Because a regime we
Porque
just
un
got rid
régimen que
of
acabamos de
overseas, and
deshacernos
one regime could be pretty bad.
puede ser
And what I'm
bastante.
saying is
Lo que
this,
estoy diciendo es
that
que
you really
de
want
veras que
to, on my time,
en mi tiempo
all I'm saying is that it does hurt
que lastima
when someone say you're
cuando
against
dice que
the
usted en
cause
contra
that
de
you
la
stood
causa
for
que
all your
usted
life.
toda su
And if I want to say
yo
that,
quiero decir eso
I think I have a right to say it
tengo
as an
derecho a
elected
eso como
official,
oficial electo
as a
gracias
person and as a
como
friend.
persona y como amigo.
And I offer you that statement and friendship.
Thank you, Mr. Holden.
Gracias,
Thank you for
Jorge.
giving me about an extra minute. Mr. Padilla.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Porque
Colleagues, I'll rise in
yo
support
cuento en
of
soporte
Mr.
el señor
Contreras'
Contreras
nomination
de
to return to
nominación
the
para
airport
regresar a la
commission.
comisión del
I think it's
aeropuerto.
going to
Yo creo
prove
que
very
va a mejorar,
valuable his previous
va a hablarle
experience
como experiencia
on this
anterior,
commission. I just wanted to make a couple
más
of
quiero hacer
comments
comentarios
on
públicos
other elements
en
or
otros
perspectives
elementos
that
por
he
estudios que
will bring to the board.
la
A reminder that
un
just
recordatorio
less than 2
de que
years
nomás
ago,
hace
when we
2 años cuando
restructured
empezamos
the
reestructurando
committees
los
here in
comités
the full
aquí en el
council,
concilio
we
completo.
renamed one of the
Nosotros
committees
nomás
and
uno de los
restructured one of the
comités, somos uno de los comités para que fuera llamado,
economic
del
development,
desarrollo
and
económico
employment.
y empleo.
economic development and employment in the same
en el
committee
mismo
title,
comité,
because we wanted to put
porque
equal value on
Balbón
not just helping
no más en
businesses
ayudar
and helping
negocios y
attract and
ayudar a
grow
atraer y
businesses in
crecer negocios en
Los
Los Ángeles.
But as it came to
Pero
job
como vino
creation,
la
we wanted to
creación de
ensure that we
trabajos,
did
como
what
se
we
hubiera
could
que
to
hacemos
ensure
lo que
there was
pudiéramos
quality
hacer, si hubiera que
jobs
había trabajos
being
de calidad
created.
que fueran creados.
Well, we know that the airport is one
Pensamos
of
que
our
los países
proprietary
son unos
departments.
departamentos de
The
propiedad.
challenges that
Los
by virtue of
retos
its
por el
being
virtud de ser
proprietary, treated
propietarios
differently, some
tratan
a little bit more
diferentes, un
independent
poquito
than
más
most of the
independientes que
departments that
todos
we
los
deal with in
departamentos
the
que
city.
nosotros estamos dentro de la ciudad.
But
Pero
the opportunity there,
la
given the
oportunidad
size
que
of
nos
the
dan los lugares
the
de
airport department, the size of their
repente
budget, the
sale de
opportunities,
su
we can
presupuesto,
apply the same
oportunidades que
principle
pueden
to
aplicar
the
el mismo
airport
precio al
as
aeropuerto,
sooner or
como
later, the
tarde o temprano
largest
los más
capital
grandes
building program in the
edificios
city
del
of
programa en la
Los
ciudad de Los
Angeles when it
Ángeles,
comes to the
cuando viene a la
modernization
modernización
of the
del
airport. It's
aeropuerto,
important to look
es
at not
importante
just
para verlo no nada más para
modernizing the airport
modernizar el
for airport
aeropuerto para
purposes, not
propósitos
just
del
modernizing
aeropuerto,
the
no
airport for security
modernizarlo para
purposes,
propósitos de
but
seguridad,
using
pero
that
usar
as a
eso
wonderful
como
challenge and opportunity
reto y
to ensure
oportunidad
that
para
it's
asegurar
all
que su
jobs,
trabajo
getting
de
the work done,
calidad que
all
hacen
jobs
trabajos de calidad
being
están haciendo trabajo y crean
created after that
después de ese
modernization
plan de
plan.
modernización.
Mr.
Y yo creo
Contreras
que su
is in a great
contraria es en gran
position,
posición,
given his position,
dando
given
su
his
presión,
experience,
dando su
to be
experiencia
able to
para
do
poder
that. And
hacer
another,
eso.
just
Y
an
otra
anecdote I wanted to share,
anécdota que le compartir.
How organized labor can play a role in issues not just related to labor, not just related to employment, but related
trabajo,
to
pero
security.
relacionada a seguridad.
One of the first
Una de las
actions we
primeras
saw from the
acciones que
federal
vimos del
government
gobierno
after
federal
September
después de
11th
septiembre 11
was the
fue la
federalization
federalización
of
de
the baggage screener function at the
la
airports. It was one of the
revisión
clearly
de
vulnerable areas of our security system.
equipaje.
But it wasn't
Es
used to
más
us.
vulnerable.
We had heard it
Nosotros no
for
habíamos
years
sido
prior to
por años
September
antes de
11th
septiembre 11
from the services
de los
employees
servicios
internationally
empleados
in the local
internacionales
1877.
del local
They identified the
877
need to
identificaron la
better
necesidad
educate,
para
better train
mejorar, mejor
their
entrenar.
members who were
Sus
conducting
miembros
that
estaban
function
conduciendo esa función.
prior to that. So I
Antes de
think
esto,
there's going to be
entonces
a
yo creo
lot
que va a
more
haber mucho más
innovation, ideas,
innovación, ideas,
suggestions,
sugerencias,
and appropriate recommendations coming from organized labor as part of enhancing our airport from a security standpoint, transportation standpoint, as well as a
también como laborales y calidad de empleo.
standpoint. So, Mr. Contreras, we
Señor
have high
Contreras, tenemos
expectations
gran
of you.
expectaciones de
Let's
usted.
get to work.
Vamos a llegar ahí.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Padilla. Colleagues, there are 7 members wishing to be
miembros que
heard.
desean ser
We still
oídos.
have,
Todavía
I know, some
tenemos
students that are here
estudiantes que
also
están
that
aquí
need to be
también necesitan
recognized. So
reconocer.
I
Entonces,
recommend that we keep
quiero
our
que nos
comments as
mantengamos
concise as
comentarios
possible. That would help us get these kids out of here on time as well. Mr. Reyes.
Thank you, Council President.
Gracias, presidente.
Mr. Contreras,
Señor
a year and
Contreras,
a half
hace un
ago,
año y medio
we had
tuvimos
workers who came in
trabajadores que vinieron
who felt they were being
que
mistreated by
se
some
ven
restaurants in
maltratados
the
por unos
airport.
restaurantes en el aeropuerto.
And we were
Y
wondering
nosotros
how it got to
sabemos
that
cómo
point.
llegó a ese punto.
And we were questioning
Y
the airport
estamos
commissioner's
condicionando a los
posture on that
comisarios del
issue.
aeropuerto en ese pues, ese
My hope is
asunto.
that with
Mi
your presence
esperanza con su
there,
presencia ahí,
we have the ability
tenemos la
to make
habilidad
sure
de estar
that the
seguros de
companies,
las compañías,
the restaurants,
de
and
restaurantes
those
y
that
esos
are
que
part of the
son
airport
parte del
will
aeropuerto
understand that now there's an
entiendan
airport
ahora que hay un
commissioner
comisionado del
who is willing to
aeropuerto que
address
está
those
dispuesto
issues
a
up front.
llevar estos asuntos enfrente antes de que lleguen a un punto donde tengamos trabajadores que viven en las áreas pobres de nuestra ciudad que viajen al aeropuerto tengan que hacer un viaje al City Hall solo para poner sus preocupaciones. Estamos fuera de tiempo, estamos entre la mayoría de nuestra juventud.
Latinos in the school district, we're fighting hard for housing. These are real basic quality of life issues. And I would hope that this arena serves as a platform
como una
to start
plataforma
articulating
para empezar a
how we
articular
can
cómo es
approach
que
our
podemos
policies in a way
llegar a nuestras
that levels the playing
leyes
field for everyone.
para que sea para todos.
This council has
Este
passed
consejo ha
the
pasado
living wage ordinance,
la ordenanza
very
de
progressive in
salario
how we deal
mínimo
with
es
our
como
policies.
llevamos nuestras
And I'm looking
pólizas.
forward to working
Estoy
with
esperando
you
trabajar
and
con usted
those
y eso,
who are willing to
esos que están
understand
dispuestos a
that we still
entender
have a great
que
disparity in the
tenemos una
city
disparidad
and have a
en la
lot to
ciudad,
overcome.
tenemos mucho que
And I just want to
crear y
thank you for
quiero
your
darle
time.
gracias por su tiempo
And looking forward to
y
working
espero
with the
trabajar
body
con el cuerpo
from a different point
de
of view.
diferente punto de
Appreciate
vista.
that.
Gracias. Gracias.
Mr. Weiss.
Señor Weiss.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Contreras, I'm really excited that you're going to be on this commission for a number of reasons, but the one I just want to
Pero la que
indicate to
quiero
you
indicar
here
es-
is because
porque
you're a builder. I mean, you want to see improvements in our infrastructure, not just at the airport,
solo
and the
en el
rest of the city,
aeropuerto,
but
el resto
the
de la ciudad,
airport in
pero en el
particular.
aeropuerto en particular.
And I remember when I flew in to be with my family in 1984 to see part of the Summer Olympics. And in preparation of the 1984 Olympics, our airport was modernized. We have the same airport today, 2 decades later. And if we don't make a difference now, 2 decades from now, we'll have the same airport. And a lot of people don't want to face up to that fact in this city. If we want the city to grow and prosper, we want the region to prosper for the next generation, we're going to need people like you making these incredibly important decisions on behalf of not just people who know they have an interest there, but on behalf of an entire region that may not give a second thought to the fact that their prosperity, their vitality, their ability to work is so critically linked to the prosperity and the modernization and indeed the expansion of that airport. And I know you are going to make the right decisions for our region. And I thank you for that.
Mr. Weiss. Mr. LeBon.
41 seconds. Thank you for your service to the city. I know you have a great understanding from everybody, from the workers who are at the airport to the people who are flying and the safety and all in between. I just asked you to look out for this one group, the Bob Hope USO Center that's there. Take care of all the veterans and even more who are coming through, and the servicemen and women at the Bob Hope USO in LAX. And thank you.
Ditto that. 22 seconds. Give that man a prize. Ms. Perry.
I'll go for 30 seconds. Miguel, you and I have had our differences now and again, but I can tell you one thing. I know that you and I agree on one thing, which is to make sure that we build, bring new jobs, and take care of the employees of the city, all employees. And I know that is a topic on which we will always agree, regardless of any political differences we might ever have now and in the future. But I want to tell you two things. Looking forward to working with you on the development of the Figueroa Corridor, and I want you to be mindful of the environmental issues presented to the communities who live under the flight path of LAX, and if you could keep that in mind as you make your decisions with respect to the pollution carcinogens and the health impacts, I would appreciate that.
Thank you, Ms. Perry. Mr. Zime.
Thank you, colleagues. Mr. Contreras, good morning, or good afternoon. Almost good evening by the time you get out of here after this grilling. I want to congratulate you. I know your dedication to labor, to the working people of Los Angeles and this entire region. I know your experience on the Airport Commission from the past and what you have done to really build support for people in Los Angeles. Has been stated by Councilman Reyes. I was aware of the problem that occurred at the airport with a food concession and what was happening to the workers, and how your group and others came to assist and help resolve that issue. So you've got my support. I know you'll do well in that endeavor. I know there's controversy in Westchester continuously because of the airport and the traffic mitigation, et cetera. Just one more item I'd like to bring your attention is we're working with the USO to help give our military personnel larger facilities, and I've spoken with the President of the Commission, Mr. Stein, regarding that, and the Commission's support of it. I just remind you to please support that for the military personnel so they have better quarters as they pass through Los Angeles World Airport, the smaller quarters versus what we want to provide for them for the relaxing time as they travel across the globe. So best to you, and you got my support. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zine. Ms. Gruhl.
Well, that's been said, so I don't want to be repetitive, but pleased that you are coming back on the Airport Commission. You have experience and knowledge, and as mentioned today, understanding the balance of creating business and jobs at the same time, and that is possible in working together. And so I know you will take notice of all the comments made today and the important position in which you're taking, and want to acknowledge your continued commitment. You've been a commissioner on various commissions in the city of Los Angeles, and it's time-consuming, but you've been a dedicated volunteer, so appreciate all your help and support your appointment today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gruhl. Mr. Parks.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Contreras, I want to congratulate you on this appointment. And I have a like concern as Ms. Perry regarding, we often hear about the airport as a complex, almost like it's on an island, and it certainly generates a large number of jobs. But probably those residents that live in the flight path are probably more citizens in our city that live around the airport. But I would really like you to concentrate on those issues of the pollutants, the health issues, and the soundproofing issues that seem to impact those people who appear to be at arm's distance of the airport. It seems as though there's a need of really an outreach program because there's a lack of understanding as to why we would stop in the middle of a block for soundproofing and the next door neighbor does not get soundproofing. And those are things I think we could be good neighbors for those that are in those areas, particularly the people that are in those poor communities that have a lack of understanding and a lack of resources to fix it themselves. So I would encourage those issues and the sense of noise, pollutants, and health issues to be a major agenda item to think about the residents that the planes fly over, as well as what we're going to do at the airport once they get there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Parks. Finishes the speaker queue. Madam Clerk, if you please open the roll on the nomination, close the roll and tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
Congratulations, Mr. Contreras.
Thank you, Councilmember.
Welcome back to the commission. If we can go back to the presentations, Ms. Perry, to be followed by Ms. Galanter.
Sorry it took so long. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Okay, sorry. Hope you haven't passed out from hunger. What, it's a civics lesson in waiting patiently. They've had a lesson today, a civics lesson in waiting patiently. Thank you. Come on up here. Come on, don't be, come on. I'm standing here today with the winners of a competition from Los Angeles Academy, the Accelerated School, and John Adams Middle School, Robert J. Arthur from Dell Computers, Dr. Sally Wolf, and Catherine Brem. Where's Catherine? Oh, there you are. Okay, great. Thank you very much, colleagues. I'm very proud and very happy to present these outstanding students to you today from the 9th Council District. These students have not only demonstrated academic excellence and commitment to complete their schoolwork, they have accomplished a great deal in their technology usage and shown great talent that inspire all of us to do our best job whenever we can. These are the winners of the first annual Team Technology Competition for the 9th Council District. These kids are the brightest hope we have. The more we invest in them, the greater the result for all of us in education, in job skills, and in partnerships with community leaders. I'd like to ask Catherine Brem to come up and speak first, and then Dr. Sally Wolf will present the trophies to the top winners, and then Robert Arthur from Dell Computers to tell us why they decided to participate in this great activity.
Thank you. Thank you. There were almost 200 students that participated in this competition. The subjects ranged from Malcolm X to rap, the history of rap, to science projects. And it was fantastic. But I want to introduce Dr. Sally Wolf, and she could tell you a little bit more about it.
Hello, thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here today, and I want to first thank Jan Perry for her dedication to these children of the 9th Council District. The foresight and the vision are tremendous. Now, the winning schools here represented today, Los Angeles Academy Middle School. Could we have site leader David Vilencio Walter please come and get this trophy? Thank you so much. The Accelerated Learning Center, site leader Craig Coca, please come forward. John Adams Middle School, site leader Cesar Alcaraz. Congratulations. We honor the educators that work with our children, the families that support them, and the kids. You've done a tremendous job. Now, could Robert Arthur from Dell Computers come forward, please? Dell has been a tremendous sponsor for these kids and for us at Team.
Mr. President, council members, thank you very much for letting me be a part of this. It's been a tremendous honor. I'd like to thank Councilman Perry. Thank you for sponsoring us here today.
Catherine,
Dr. Wolf, you guys have had the vision and watched this thing grow from the beginning. Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank Belkin Components for helping to contribute to the grand prize, which is a brand new Dell computer with a bunch of other stuff from Belkin. So thank you very much. I cover K-12 education for Dell in LA County and Hawaii, and I see how difficult it can be to integrate technology into the learning process, and anything that we can do to help facilitate that with programs like this, we'd love to participate in and give back to the community that we live in. And so with that, I'd like to, I guess, announce the winner from the Los Angeles Academy Middle School, Mr. Giancarlo Orellana.
Well, first I'd like to thank my mom and my dad for giving me the support, and my teachers, Mr. Sarabia, for teaching me a lot of things about history, especially on Malcolm X, which that's what I did the PowerPoint on. And thank you.
Muchas gracias. Gracias.
And congratulations to all these great kids. I'd also like to point out that Catherine is a resident of the Ninth Council District in the original Loft District. First came to me with this idea, and I want to say thanks for your vision. I also want to congratulate Christina Borrelles, obviously Catherine, Dr. Wolf. Thanks again to Robert Arthur, Don Wischter from Modern Age, Leslie Gill Taplin, and Appleton Trophy and Engraving for giving us these great trophies. And congratulations to all the young folks here today. Thank you.
Let me ask Mr. Reyes to add a few words.
Councilman Perry, I just wanted to share with you that there's a wonderful administrator by the name of Mr. Flores who works with John Adams and have had the opportunity to visit any part of their career days in the past 2 years. I understand they have another one on May 15th. And so I want to congratulate you. It's a great school, great group of kids, and I look forward to joining with you again on May 15th. Congratulations.
We're going to go on the
Jan Perry, just a second here, and all the students at John Adams, look right over here. See that smiling face, Edith Maria, graduate of John Adams Middle School and Junior High. City Attorney, Deputy City Attorney, Assistant City Attorney.
You did just fine. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias.
For our next presentation, let me recognize Councilmember Galante.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President. And I'm here today to thank the Tony Cervera Company for the work that they do without anybody asking them to, mostly without anybody except the folks all over the neighborhood noticing what they do. And I also want to thank the gentleman for your patience. We have 2 generations of the family here today, Tony and Anthony, but they also have 5 generations in their family. And we were very impressed to see a 5-generation family earlier. My mom's going to be 106 months, but she's not coming out here for this. But they didn't bring all 5 generations. The reason that I asked them to come in and be recognized is that the Tony Cervera Company is celebrating 46 years in business. And this is a company that these gentlemen, father and son, don't just operate their business, which is essentially a construction business, a contracting business. But they look around the community, and when they see a problem, they just go fix it. They don't ask for a vote of anybody. If there's a problem, they just take care of it. They donate their own labor, their staff time, their own materials, and they constructed the first day laborer center for the San Fernando Valley. They recognize the lack of dignity that comes when low-income people and hardworking people waiting for buses are stuck in ankle-high mud because we don't have any storm drains. We don't have very good flood control. And so they've taken the initiative to just go and lay cement at bus stops along San Fernando Road so that people will not have to wade in ankle-deep mud in order to get in and out of the buses. MTA should know about these guys. MTA should pay these guys. Tony Cervera Company has also proven to be an activist for local environmental issues. They create tree wells and they participate in tree planting along Sunland Boulevard and in other parts of Sun Valley. And I wanted them to come in because they're wonderful people and they do wonderful work, and more of us should know about them. So I have 2 certificates that are almost identical. They both, one for the father and one for the son. They talk, they say essentially what I just told you. They basically acknowledge that here in the city of Los Angeles, you don't have to be a member of anything in order to contribute something important to your community. You may be able to contribute more being a member of one thing or another thing, but you don't have to worry about it. You just go out and solve the problem. So I'm very proud to have these gentlemen and their business in my district, and I hope you will join me in acknowledging the fact that anybody in town who sees a problem and wants to solve it has the opportunity to do that. And I know that all of you do the same thing in your districts. Look for people who want to solve a problem because they can save all of us a lot of work. They can save everybody in the community a lot of time and a lot of needless nuisances like standing in ankle-deep mud. So, Tony and Anthony, one for you. And we just want to tell you that in the city of Los Angeles, when we find people like you, we are really excited about it. And we love you very much, and I wish there were more people like you, and maybe with 5 generations in a family, maybe there are more people like you.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Okay. See, they're also very efficient. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Galanter. For our next presentation, let me recognize Councilmember Zine.
President and colleagues, joining me are members of the city family, building and safety inspectors, also the general manager. Where is the general manager? Oh, you are hidden. I don't know how a large man like you could be hidden. Get over here. You're too wide to be hidden. Andrew Edelman, the general manager of building and safety, joins me. I want to recognize some of the inspectors that work in my district, in the 3rd Council District, and their cooperation with the LAPD, with my community posse. Wait, we'll get to that. He's reading my notes. And how they've helped rid our community of blight. Frank Bush, who's the senior inspector, who I've worked with since I've been in elective office, was recognized prior to today for his work and his endeavors. And what we're recognizing today is the workers who go out day in and day out within my district and eradicating the problems that are brought to their attention. We have presentations for inspectors from the Building Safety Department, and I will give them their presentations, and we're going to hear from them, but also the general manager. And I also have 2 presentations from Councilman Burnson for building safety inspectors that work in the 12th district. And I also have a presentation for the man who, once he receives the information, who receives the criminal complaint, then does the prosecution from the city attorney's office. So first I'd like to call up Mike Beveridge, Inspector, Department of Building and Safety. We have a certificate of appreciation for you and recognition for your outstanding citizenship and activities enhancing community betterment, and for all you've done for the people of the San Fernando Valley. That's for you. Eric Jakeman, Inspector, Los Angeles Department of Building and Safety. Eric, that's for you. And Ernest Leos. Ernest, that's for you. Thank you. And I have also for representatives in the adjoining district, the 12th district, Councilman Burns' district, for Willie Ross.
Willie Ross.
Willie, congratulations to you. And also John Rios. John. And the man who takes all the paperwork when the inspectors do the citing, then he decides what's going to happen to it. Now, we have our neighborhood prosecutor program that's been very successful. Mike Pizzuti works out in my district, in the 3rd district. But there's a man by the name of Donald Kojak, Deputy City Attorney. Don's the man that takes all the paperwork, takes all the complaints, and then files and does the prosecution to rid the community of the blight and all the negatives that exist, not only in my community, but in other adjoining communities within the San Fernando Valley. So we want to recognize you because of all the hard work you do in cooperation with the representatives of building safety, also in coordination with the LAPD, my community policy, and everyone else who's trying to rid our community of the negative sites that we oftentimes see. So congratulations, and we're going to hear from each of you who received the presentation. But before that, I want to turn it over to the general manager.
Thank you, Council Member. On behalf of 900 hardworking men and women in the Department of Building and Safety, thank you for this recognition. On behalf of these, my colleagues who are here, David Kime, who is the manager of that bureau, Mr. Ed Sanchez, who is the assistant bureau chief of that bureau, Mr. Ruben Perez, who is the chief inspector overseeing the inspectors, as well as Mr. Frank Bush. I want to share with you that the Building and Safety each year closes 45,000 code enforcement cases, successfully resolves the issues, and in addition to that, in the new construction, performs over 600,000 inspections a year to ensure the safety and well-being of the community. Thank you for that recognition again on behalf of these colleagues and all of the 900 hard-working men and women in the Department of Building and Safety.
Thank you, and thank you for your leadership in that department. It's made a major turnaround. And the people who recognize that in the communities. We're going to start with you. I know you want to say something. Go ahead. You're going to be on television live and also tonight and over the weekend. You'll be able to save this tape forever. So they talk about the 15 minutes of fame. You can keep on talking. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I'd just like to say thank you to Frank Bush, my supervisor, and Dave Kine, who kind of set me straight a few times. It's a good job, and it's good to see the difference that we make. Sometimes you go out there and you see some pretty bad jobs, and we work hard to get them resolved. Thank you.
I'd like to say I've worked for Building Safety just for about 2.5 years now. It's been a great privilege. I've had Frank Bush, Dave Kine, Mr. Adelman, Ed Sanchez. They've all been great. The Councilman Zion's office has been great. We go out to take care of a job. They back us up 100%, and then Mr. Kojak follows it through. So I just want to tell everybody thank you for the job that we can do through their help. I'd like to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to work with the different people in the neighborhoods and getting the properties cleaned up. And thank Mr. Adelman, Mr. Bush, Mr. Kine, I forget names, but thank you guys, and hopefully I can keep you in good job. Go Lakers.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to allow me to serve Council District 3. I want to give special thanks to Don Kojak with his support and allowing us to really make a difference in the San Fernando Valley. Thank you.
I've been with the department for 16 years, and I can say that we've seen a great change in the different districts as we've performed our duties, and I know we all plan on keep doing it each day as we go out there. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, I'd like to have Frank Bush, who's the senior inspector, who's the man who instigated this recognition today, which is wonderful because the cooperation with the city family, the taxpayers are paying for that. We do our jobs, and we're all coordinating doing that. Senior Inspector Frank Bush.
Thank you. I'd just like to thank you for the recognition. The inspectors do a great job out in the field dealing with a lot of different community blight and life problems, and we really appreciate the recognition. And I want to especially recognize also today Mr. Kojak from the City Attorney's Office, who without him we wouldn't be able to gain as much success in our code enforcement activities as we do in the Valley. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Zai. And thank you, gentlemen, for all of your hard work. Members of the council, members of the public, I believe this finally concludes the presentation segment of today's agenda. Madam Clerk, let's return now to matters called special. I do believe there are a couple of items that can be discussed quickly.
Yes, Mr. President. Item number 24 was called special for Mr. Parks to leave the council chamber, and I believe he has, so that matter can be taken up now.
Mr. Parks is currently not in chambers. Is there any discussion or debate on item 24? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, let's open the roll. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
That is approved. Colleagues, let me also remind us or call attention to the roster. There are 10 members present to bear quorum, so I'd ask for your patience and focus today. Ms. Blanchard.
No vote, so we could probably do that without debate also.
Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. President. Item number 18 is the next agenda item. It's called special by Councilmember Galanter.
And I don't think we need any debate or discussion.
Need any debate or discussion. I just want to be, I want a separate vote.
Other members wishing to be heard on item 18? Seeing none, let's open the roll on item 18. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
9 ayes, 1 no.
That is approved.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Next item, Mr. President. Item number 1 was called special inasmuch as there are cards from the public.
Okay, item number 1 now before us. Council calls forward Farnoosh Taftian and Kevin Brogan. And as you come forward, I just want to say thank you so very much for your patience. I know you've been here for a couple of hours this morning, but this is your opportunity to be heard on item number 1.
To the member of the Los Angeles City Council, my name is Farnoosh Taftian, wife of Samuel Taftian, and co-owner of the property in question at this hearing. I would like to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak on behalf of my family in regards to the situation of our real estate at 2437 West Pico Boulevard. 20 years ago, my husband began a business at this location with the big hope of finding a stable source of income for our growing family. Since the beginning, my husband has worked 7 days a week from 12 to 14 hours a day in order to keep this business alive and to support our family. At the time, the neighborhood was much different, posing many problems from starting a new business. The improvements that have been made in recent years cannot compare to the environment we began our business in 20 years ago. We continue to work together as a family in order to keep our commitment to the store and the neighborhood we service. Until now, we survived. We were able to survive and improve the business in order to support our 4 children and the other members of the family that depend on us. 3 of our 4 children are currently in college, all of them with the plans for professional school, and still have to provide for our 11-year-old daughter, who is in elementary school. Just as much as my family depend on this business, our employees depend on us to provide them with the only source of income and stability for their families. Since we first realized that there might be the possibility of us having to relocate our business, we began searching the surrounding neighborhood for a property that could be considered as a replacement. In our entire search, we have not found a single location that is able to meet all of our needs as well as the property we currently own. We understand that the circumstances of this situation require us to relocate our business, but there are many problems and losses associated with making this move. The first difficulty is finding similar property to what we already own in order to relocate and maintain a successful business. The second major concern is that the business we get in the season between Halloween and New Year supplement a large portion of our annual income. We have many customers who come from other cities and long distances specifically for the holiday season because they recognize us and have come to depend on us to provide them with quality goods, and it took us 20 years to create this reputation at this specific location. Having to relocate immediately would cause us to lose our customers to competing businesses in the area, and the loss of loyal neighborhood customers will hurt our business immensely. Sure. In regards to this situation, which I briefly described to you, I would like to ask members of the Los Angeles City Council to please reconsider using our property for the fire department and to look at other properties in the surrounding area that would be much more willing to sell and would suffer fewer losses. I have a little bit more. Can you please?
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
This relocation will not only affect the ability of our business to maintain its growth, but it will deeply affect the stability of our family. The relatives we support and employ who depends on us. To lose this property not only means that we have lost the security of knowing what our future holds, but it also means that 20 years of hard work to ensure this security has gone to waste. In addition to these numerous losses we will suffer under relocation, there is the fact that my husband and I are not as young and healthy we were 20 years ago, and we are not in the same position to start our business all over again.
Thank you very much. I think you made your point very well. I want to call forward now Kevin Brogan for comments.
Mr. President, members of the City Council, my name is Kevin Brogan, B-R-O-G-A-N. I'm a condemnation lawyer for the Taftians who own the property that the city is considering condemning for the Pico Union Fire Station number 13, I believe. There are some limitations on the city's power to take property. As the City Council knows and the City Attorney knows, those limitations are set forth in Section 1245.230 of the Code of Civil Procedure. There's been no showing thus far that there's any establishment of the requisite items set forth in that code section. There's no necessity for the taking of the Taftians property, and there's no showing that this project is located in the manner most compatible with the greatest public good and least private injury. Specifically, other properties which are in the neighborhood and are boarded up are available for this type of situation. It would not involve displacing an existing business and existing employees who are from the neighborhood who work in the business. Frankly, we urge the City Council to communicate with staff to examine alternative sites for this fire station to be able to establish that those sites would satisfy the needs of the fire department and avoid the taking of existing business that's held by local owners and employs local citizens. Thank you.
Very much. This concludes public comment on item number 1. Members wishing to be heard on this item, beginning with Ms. Perry. Item number 1. Mr. Holden.
Well, Mr. Reyes, this is in your district, right? Okay, but before I speak, could you speak first?
Ms. Perry, Mr. Reyes,
No, I pass.
Mr. Holden.
Well, I understand that this is a question whether or not we should acquire the property for a fire station. Is that right, Mr. Reyes? And it serves your district and my district. An eastern part of my district. And I'm going to support the recommendation because wherever a fire station is needed to protect the people's property and their lives, I know some folks will be inconvenienced. And That's always understood.
Siempre se ha entendido.
But for the good of the majority, we find ourselves doing this from time to time. And for that reason, Mr. Deaton, this is a fire station. For the good of the majority, we find ourselves doing this from time to time. Voting to put a fire station, Mr. Rios District, which is adjacent to mine, to protect the people and their property there. Now, there's some opposition to it. Always opposition. I just want you to be mindful of that. So this item is like other items. It's all right. You can see. I'll call upon you in a minute. The fact of the matter is that I vote for you on this project, and I appreciate the fact that you're sticking to your position.
Thank you, Mr. Holden. Other members wishing to be heard on this item? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please open the roll. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
That matter is approved.
And the ordinance is
The ordinance
approved.
carries over for a second reading. Next item, please.
Item number 11, call special by Councilmember Perry.
Ms. Perry.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Yes, I understand this is going to be referred to committee, and I concur with that. I just wanted to make one comment on the record that as we develop our policy, one of the things I've tried to do in the 9th Council District is to give the residents of the 9th a perspective on their history, basically to give their history and cultural past back. And with that in mind, all things being out there in terms of records and reclamation, I'd like to make special note that we should make every effort to give back the names, the historic names of the census tracts when these tracts were originally created throughout the city, and give us that consideration.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Hahn.
Thank you. The reason I referred this back to committee, back to my committee, the Education Neighborhood, is that we have not completed the work we needed to complete in committee. So instead of just continuing to continue this when it comes to council, I wanted to get it back to our committee to finish our work. But we'll certainly take into consideration, Ms. Perry, what you said, and anyone that has any input in this item, please send it to me.
Thank you, Ms. Hahn. And the bulk of the input that the committee is seeking on this item is also coming from the neighborhood councils as the circulated amongst them for comments and feedback as well. Members, without objection, item number 11 is referred back to Education and Neighborhoods Committee. Next item, please.
Number 14, call special by Councilmember Holden.
Mr. Holden. May I ask you to press your button, please?
Mr. President, members, maybe I can have a staff report. If not, we can continue this until Tuesday and then have the staff in here to discuss my amendment 14B.
Is your appropriate staff on item 14?
El equipo número 14.
They're here, Mr. Holden.
Están aquí, son
Public Works.
trabajos públicos.
What we have here is authorization to continue $1.7 million loan from the Public Works Trust Fund from 2002 to 2003, but they want to continue that now until the end of December. That's number one. Number two, they asking for the continuation of a $2.3 million additional loan. I think that's the case. 1.7 plus 2.3, is that not correct?
Yes, it is.
For public work. And it's to be repaid, I believe, by the federal government, something like that?
By a combination of many sources, including the federal
Where's the
government.
combination?
It's many, it's listed in the report. It includes, by the way, DCARE, CAO staff, federal funding of $25.9 million, the MTA, $23.6 million in total for the project, $8.2 million from the state, $5.2 million in state relinquishment funds, $2.6 million from LA County, $3.5 million from the
So
city.
we are advancing the money, all the money we advanced for the construction, are they advancing a portion of this?
We are getting money from various sources on an ongoing basis.
On an ongoing basis?
Yes.
Then why do we have to advance anything?
We're not getting all of it. We need to advance a portion of it
Advance a
for cash
portion
flow
of it. And you
purposes.
expect to be repaid some later date, is that correct?
That's right, and we have received some
On that note, Mr. President, members, The reason why I put in 14B, just 2 weeks ago, we had a room full of people here complaining about the stench and the odor on Rodeo Road and Jefferson. The fact that they put the sleeve that they retrofitted the sewer line, mandated by EPA, with the imposition of a $5 billion bond measure on the people. And the work was not done. The department has already designed made a design of what is required in order to move this, relocate this sewer line. And I want to amend this motion to include the $2.6 million from the Public Works Trust Fund for that purpose. This is public works money. Okay, and it shouldn't have to be a loan anyway. It should be something that they should do ordinarily, automatically. So for that reason, Mr. President, members, I offer the amendment. Vice, you want to say something?
He's next on the queue. We're waiting for you to finish, Mr. Holden.
Okay, fine. So what I like to do then is have the staff come in and address this issue. The people are not here today as they were before, and you all showed some support for them and their concerns. So, Mr. Deaton, if you want to respond to that, I'd like to continue this for.
Well, what I think would be appropriate.
There's no urgency. I'd like to continue it.
If we could approve item 14 and take 14, your motion, and schedule that for next week as a separate agenda item, then I think it would be in. The difficulty I have with the motion is it's not directly part of this project, which is what is on the agenda. And so if we can approve 14 and you and schedule your motion for next week, I think that would be appropriate. Is that okay?
The motion should be resubmitted as a Rule 16 and it can be scheduled for next week.
Well, we can just say it's Rule 16.
So why shouldn't that motion be sent to committee?
If that's the call of...
I mean, it's a funding request. It's a $2.6 million funding request, right?
Before you answer, Mr. Deaton, let me just remind us, and so we can be clear on the conversation. Mr. Weiss, please clarify if you wish to speak on Mr. Holden's amending motions versus the 14 that's posted on the agenda.
14, you're absolutely right, Mr. President. 14 should be approved right now, as is per Mr. Deaton's request. But why there should be, and obviously if a matter is submitted as a Rule 16 motion, the President of the Council can decide whether the matter should go to committee or not. But why don't we leave it at that, and that the matter ought to be determined as any other instantaneous request for $2.6 million should be treated as to whether it should go to committee.
As the clerk indicated, it will be viewed as a Rule 16.
Mr. Holden?
Mr. Weiss? It's not instantaneous. It's an issue that's been on the table for more than 2 years, maybe even 3 years. The sleeve that was retrofitted on Rodeo was started about 8-9 years ago, and the job has not been completed. The relocation of this intersection of the sewer line will complete the project. This was done long before some of the members who were not termed out before they were here, that project started. So I understand how you would feel if it were instantaneous. But we had a meeting here on the council about this matter and the problems associated with the fact that this job is not completed. Since then, I would inform you that the staff came out and met with the community. A large number of people in the community still complaining about the job not yet being finished. And so I'm just trying to share with you what their concerns are. And the money is available. That's why EPA did file a lawsuit against the city. The job is not yet completed. And that's why taxpayers, ratepayers are paying a lot of money in that sewer service charge. And some communities, they're getting the service, as in yours, but in some communities, they're not getting the service, as in mine, and Mr. Koski, which is adjacent there, too. So I don't think it's an unreasonable request to make this, even vote on this today, but going to Rule 16, I have no problem with that. But I think you just need to know that it's not something new. We can show you the paper trail. It goes back for years.
Thank you, Mr. Holden. Other members wishing to be heard on this item? Seeing none, then the amending motion by Mr. Holden shall be resubmitted as a Rule 16. Clerk, please open the roll on item 14 as agendized. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
That is approved. Next item, please.
Item 15, called special by Councilmember Reyes.
Mr. Reyes.
Thank you, Council President. If I may, for the sake of expediency, we can do 15 and 16 together. They're basically the same. It's a technical change in language. I'd like to pose the following verbiage. That the city engineer be permitted to make minor amendments to the approved vacation area when preparing the resolution to vacate for this request to reflect the actual vacation area limits being vacated. End quote. This is a recommendation from the engineer, given that we're dealing with design build features for the goal line. These impacts are essentially vacation areas at Avenue 15 Marmion Way and Oriole Seco Marmion Way. And I'm following the recommendation from the city engineer. Thank you.
Thank you, members. Without objection, we'll consider items 15 and 16 concurrently. These seem to be amending motions technical in nature. Are there any other members wishing to be heard on this item? Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please open the roll on items 15 and 16. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Those are approved. Next items, please.
Item 21, called special by Councilmember Labange.
Mr. Labange.
Gracias. Presidente, todos. Es buena idea.
Into the microphone, please.
Thank you. This just adds a little notification on anyone who would want to advocate and use the good system that's being developed by our Department of Neighborhoods on issues that if they're being paid for by an advocacy group, a lobbyist group, they would have to add that to the tag so they don't feel they're receiving an official notice from the Department of Neighborhoods or something like this, but it's been clarified. And I thank the committee members who brought this forward. Ask for an aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Other members wishing to be heard? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please open the roll. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
That is approved. Mr. Parks.
Tom, a question?
Tom.
I just had one question on an issue that just passed. Is that why limit it to neighborhood councils? It would appear that it would be appropriate that whenever they sponsor anything that they would have, just as we put on committee to re-elect or committee to elect, that they would have to put that on any literature.
Well, it's on the email system is what they were working off of, and it stems from the situation on the alarms where they send out advocacy there.
But I'm saying as far as written literature, whether that would be also appropriate that whenever they sponsor something, it's stated on the written literature.
That's a very good point. Did we already vote on it, Mr. President?
Just vote on it. We can reconsider.
Okay, let's discuss that, and maybe we can add to that, because I think it strengthens the public's awareness of when there's advocacy.
Mr. Labange, is that a motion for reconsideration?
Well, then I think we should reconsider it offline, let that other one go forward right now, and they'll catch up to each other.
So is that a reconsideration or no?
I was just trying to help you finish the meeting and stop talking, that's all.
I'm trying to help too.
All right, let's reconsider it.
Okay, without objection. Members, we don't need a vote. Without objection, the matter is reconsidered. Do we want to amend the matter? Mr. Labange? Mr. Parks?
Yes, I take the friendly amendment from the good councilman of the 8th District.
Any further discussion? Seeing none.
I'm sorry, could I have a clarification on what the amendment was, please?
Basically, although it's addressing emails, my amendment was that whenever you have a lobbying group put out any information, they should list who they are, and that is funded for that purpose, just as we would do for any other campaign.
The term is called disclosure.
Disclosure. Okay.
And disclaimer. Mr. Holden?
Anything magic about the 90 days? What about 45 days?
Mr. Labange, this is your item.
Whatever it takes. So if I did 45.
45 days.
Contribute. Thank you.
Okay. Then let's reopen the roll on the matter as amended. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
That is approved. That's item 21. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Item number 23 was called special by Councilmember Holden.
Mr. Holden. we do have one card on this item.
Mr. President, members, this is the same situation where we just voted on a matter about a fire station for Mr. Reyes' district. Now, the person who's opposing that this property be used for a fire station apparently has some influence around here. This property in this proposed fire station is in my district, number one. Number two is that I just learned that some other council person decided they want to continue for a while. And that bothers me, and much of the fact that it's been ongoing for a couple of years, trying to acquire a piece of property in the western part of my district to service all of that general area, protect the people and their properties. It just so happened that the fire chief sent the staff to come and see me 5-6 months ago. And then the chief himself came, and I asked him specifically, before we bring this to council, do you need this property? The answer was yes. He said, I want to come to see you before I make the request to go forward before the council. I said, fine. I said, if you really think you need it, it's going to be an inconvenience for the people who are there. Certainly they're going to object to it, as we just did in this District 1. But he says, we have to have it, Councilman. And so for that reason, Mr. President, members, I said, yes, I will support you. I've not heard any discussion with the police department since then. Asked me not to support it. Mr. Deaton talked to me earlier about it. He did not know it was in my district. I think I'm correct on that, Mr. Deaton.
That's correct.
Right, and he did not know that the fire chief had communicated with me his need and desire to have this property so he can build a fire station. Is that right, Mr. Deaton?
That's equally correct.
Right. And why are we here on this?
I would appreciate it. I've discussed this with the chief, and we would like until May 6th, so the chief and I can have a discussion about this. This is not, I have not been in any discussions with the owner, but I would appreciate this continuance to May 6th and put it back on the agenda, and that'll give the fire chief and myself a chance to discuss it, and we'll be back, and I think we'll have resolved the issues that we would like to discuss.
That's your desire?
That is my desire.
Well, that's very nice. You know, it's the fact that you can have that relationship with the police chief, with the fire chief, where you can hold this up and then you can work it out with the fire chief. That's really good. Hope you can do that across the board.
I do that as much as I can. And then when we don't resolve the issues, then we don't resolve the issues. But I think we'll be able to resolve this issue by May 6th.
Thank you, Mr. Deaton. Thank you, Mr. Holden. Colleagues, we have not had a public hearing on this item. We do have one card. Ms. Deborah Chen, you have the opportunity to speak now or when we consider this matter.
I'm the owner. And it's nice to meet you. My name is Deborah Chen. And I met with Chief Prince at the location, and I met with a representative from Mrs. Galanter's office. The building is very unique. It adds a very beautiful area to Motor Avenue. I am not against the fire station taking it, sir. I understand that it has to serve the greater good. My question is, where am I going to go? And what are you guys going to do to help me find a new building? What I was told, okay, I have beautiful gardens, I have beautiful everything at this location. I was asked by Mrs. Galanter's representative, would I like windows in my next building? Yeah, I want windows. So, sir, can you help me find a new building?
When you spoke to me about it on the phone, I believe you did.
No, sir, she was my representative before.
No. So I got a call, something in writing, and I responded to a telephone call. And your name sounds very familiar.
Yes, sir, I did email you.
You did call me.
I emailed you, sir.
You emailed me, but I got in touch with you. And I didn't want to take you to describe the building. I said, oh my God, that's really nice. Why do we have to do this? And I said to the chief, you know, there's some opposition to it. Why do we have to go through this? He came and he prevailed. He pleaded with me, as you are today. I don't want to give it up even today. But it's their call sometimes. And you got to be relocated. If we can find another spot in the area, I'll be delighted to do that. I'm
Found
only
another
stating.
location for the fire department.
Let's give Ms. Chen a chance to finish.
I found another location for the fire department. MTA said MTA was going to have to release 8 feet of a future bike path, and they refused. I found a building. My parcel is 1 acre. Their parcel was an acre and a half. Their parcel was cheaper, bigger, better, and across the street from the current fire station. MTA said no to 8 feet.
We'll deal with MTA. Mr. Deaton can do that.
Thank you for being here. You obviously articulated your concerns very well. As you heard from the discussion, we're not going to be acting on the matter today. We're going to give it some more time. So
Thank you.
in the meantime, let's continue the conversations. And we recognize Councilmember
Please
Galanter.
visit us before anything happens.
Ms. Galanter.
Galanter as well.
Yeah, you got caught in this redistricting thing, as did a number of things, where, so that we, as you pointed out, we had attempted to resolve some of this for you earlier. Then last July, the district lines changed, and so you kind of got caught in the shifting as this went on. But actually, even before I read the address and recognized what property we're dealing with, I actually was going to get up to say something else. I had a conversation with the chief last week or the week before, in which he was discussing the possibility of trying to work out joint arrangements with the city of Culver City, which is fairly close to this location.
1 mile.
And borders, Culver City is a very strange shape anyway, so it borders the city of Los Angeles in a lot of different places. He was actually talking with me about a different fire station that they have proposed to build, and trying to figure out ways that we might be able to do with fewer fire stations through a consolidated agreement with Culver City and the county. And I don't know how far he's gotten with that. This issue, he didn't happen to mention this one to me, but that, I think, is one of the issues to address, because what he was pointing out to me in that conversation about fire station farther west is that we could wind up saving money, and as long as we're able to provide adequate fire service, there's no reason not to do it at a savings. So I hope that when you have this continuance and you have this discussion, you might raise that issue with them, whether it would be appropriate to apply that to this fire station as well.
Thank you. It's 1 mile away from a fire station in Culver City.
Well, apparently there's a lot of those, because over near Lincoln Boulevard, we have 2 fire stations, both of which need to be remodeled. Another set of fire stations that need to be remodeled, and Culver City comes very close there also. So I know the chief is thinking about these things, and I think that this continuance is an opportunity to see if we can resolve a whole bunch of problems at once. So I support the continuance.
Am I allowed to attend that continuance?
Oh, yeah, that'll be another meeting of the city council on May 6th, you said? Is that what you said?
Okay.
And in between, it's them trying to work out some proposal to bring back. So by all means, come on back.
Sir?
We'll see you on May 6th.
Any luck, we'll have it resolved before then.
Mr. President, I just want to say that I can vote with you. I'm leaving here.
I'm sorry?
My term is up in June, so we can make sure nothing happens till then.
Another one.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Members, and without objection, this matter continues to May 6th. Next item, please.
Item number 25, called special by Councilmember Holden.
Mr. Holden.
Mr. President, members, there's been a request to continue this matter for how long, Mr. Dean?
April 30th.
April 30th. Until April 30th. Till next week.
Okay. Is that okay with you, Mr. Holden?
Yes, Mr. President.
Okay, that would be
Next Wednesday.
next Wednesday. Members wishing to be heard on this item? No, we're going to continue this. Mr. Parks.
I just want to verify, because we talked to Terry Bauer earlier, and he was waiting for a written opinion, and I don't know whether he was going to have that by the 30th. But we need time, but he said there was going to be a written opinion before they can make a decision.
Okay, well, if we don't have one by then, we can certainly continue it again if we find that necessary.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I discussed this with Terry Bauer this morning, and he assured me that by the 30th, there would be a written opinion regarding that matter, and he asked that we would continue until that date, where a written opinion will be rendered, and we can put that measure to rest.
para descansar.
So I would confirm, and he will have a written opinion. There's been a delay at the city attorney's office due to a variety of factors, but the 30th will be the final day with a written opinion to respond to the questions, and that matter can be resolved for SEIU and their representatives.
Thank you, Mr. Zine. Other members wishing to be heard? Seeing none, then this matter is also continued without objection. Next item, please.
Item number 32, called special by Councilmember Weiss.
Mr. Weiss.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, to be very brief, there is a bill pending in the U.S. Congress that would exempt largely manufacturers of firearms from civil liability. And civil liability has been one of the key avenues to try to bring some sanity, try to bring some control to the proliferation of firearms throughout the country. In fact, there was an article in the New York Times earlier this week about a successful lawsuit against Brico up in Oakland, I believe it was. But Congress can rewrite the laws. They can take the ability to sue and hold a manufacturer of a firearm and hold them liable for the danger of their products. They can take that away from the citizens of this country by simply rewriting federal law. It's important that the city of Los Angeles, which under our previous city attorney, Jim Hahn, was doing so much and continues to do so much, but Jim Hahn deserves a lot of credit, as does his then deputy, now Deputy Mayor Carmel Sella. The city was doing so much to be at the forefront of holding the gun industry liable. We need to make sure that we're able to continue to do that important work and add this to opposition to this congressional legislation to our legislative program. Urge and I vote.
Thank you, Mr. Weiss. Other members wishing to be heard? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please open the roll. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. Mr. Reyes.
I'd like to request that we can reconsider item number 1 since we have 12 members present.
Okay, we do have an ordinance as part of item number 1. Is there any objection to reconsideration? Well, let's open the roll on reconsideration of item number 1. Let's close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Item number 1 now back before us. Let's reopen the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. Forthwith, please. Next item.
Next item, Mr. President, a special one on the desk, motion presented by Councilmember Bernson, and the city attorney will speak to the findings.
Mr. City Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. This is a motion being introduced by Councilman Bernson. In it, he is requesting that the council provide an offer of a reward for information leading to the identification, apprehension, and conviction of the persons responsible for the attempted murder of Igor Tepper, who was a taxi driver, and he was assaulted by 2 individuals, and he is in an inoperable coma with a bullet lodged in his brain at this time. And in order for the council to consider this motion by Councilman Bernson, there's a necessity that a determination be made that under the provisions of the government code and Rule 23 of the rules of the City Council, that there is a need to take immediate action on this matter, and that the need came to the attention of the City Council subsequent to the posting of today's City Council agenda.
Thank you very much. Members wishing to be heard on the findings? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please open the roll on the findings. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Special one now before us. Members wishing to be heard on the motion itself. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please open the roll on special one. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. Forthwith, please. Next item.
This is the time for comments from the public on items not on council's agenda.
Council calls for Bill Gallegos and C.L. Parrish. Are you still with us? Please come forward.
Hello once again. My name is Carrie Parrish, and I am here today speaking on behalf of the residents of Manchester Square. I'd like just to expand on the issues that I presented to you this morning on item number 22. The reason I'm here today is to tell you a personal story of 2 families and what they're going through. Mr. Holden says acquisition is excuse me, is necessary for the betterment of the public, and we all agree that in that. And we're not contesting the acquisition of Manchester Square. What we are contesting is the unlawful procedures by LAX. The coercion and discrimination. Those are not just words, those are actions by the airport. Let me expand on that. I have a minority neighbor of Thai descent who cannot speak English very well. He was denied representation of his issues and appeals by the airport. As you all know, I'm sure you're familiar with legal practices. That is a right as an American citizen, and it is also present in the Uniform Act of 1970. Those are the governing rules for acquisition and relocation of displaced persons. When you deny somebody representation to speak for them, that is unlawful. That's number one. Number two, the airport says this is a voluntary acquisition. It is not. The airport didn't bother to check the federal regulations to see if they met all the requirements for voluntary acquisition. The Office of the Inspector General has communicated to me as the author of the petition to audit LAX that this is not voluntary. LAX has misstated a statement to the FAA and to the residents that this is voluntary, and under that false statement, they have taken subjective omissions and deviations of federal regulations. I have it in writing from Instar Durham, from Lourdes Romero, and some other documents from other people where they say that we are not following the Uniform Act, contrary to President Stein's written assurances to me. I can assure you, Ms. Parrish, we are following the Uniform Act and the FAA Order 5137A to the point. That is another false statement. I have it in writing that they have chosen to take subjective omissions from the procedures and provisions granted to displaced persons. So while we are being forced out of our homes, there's more coercion. They say, take this acquisition offer or leave it. They have engaged in another unlawful activity. They have refused negotiated purchase. Take it or leave it, Ms. Parrish, is what they have said to my family, to other families. What that means is that I must take it or leave it, or remain in Manchester Square, which is no longer a thriving community. What they have done they have destroyed our community. They have acquired homes and then leveled homes, demolished them. I'm the last remaining family on my entire street as a single mother. The entire street is empty. 6 to 8 foot fences are erected on these vacant lots. There's environmental issues. We're denied soundproofing, by the way. This is a noise mitigation acquisition according to the airport. They have denied soundproofing for noise mitigation and said this must be acquired. So take it or leave it, or remain in Manchester Square in an environmental havoc. Airplane noise, no soundproofing, no neighbors, no protection.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you for being here.
Gracias por eso de que vamos a continuar esta discusión.
Mr. Bill Gallegos, are you still with us?
Gracias por ser parte de los miembros.
Thank you. Mr. Gallegos.
Señor Gallegos.
If he's not here, then this concludes public comment period for today's meeting. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Council has motions for posting and referral.
Motion shall be posted and referred.
There's an excuse on the desk. Council member Zine requests to be excused Friday, May 16th for city business, and Friday, June 16th and, 6th and 13th for personal business, and Friday, July 11th for city business. A motion is required on June 6th and June 13th.
Mr. LaBonge moves.
And that clears the desk, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Members, are there any announcements? Ms. Gruhl.
I have a couple, and I know Mr. Weiss will join me on this, which is the Sherman Oaks Bid Festival that is this Sunday from 10 to 6 on Ventura Boulevard, and would encourage as many people as can to attend that. I'd also like to announce and thank my colleagues. Just 2 days ago, we passed, actually 3 days now, a resolution for a $25,000 reward to seek the arrest of someone or anyone who was responsible for the death of Mr. Ochoa in my district, and
pleased to say that yesterday there were 3 suspects in custody, and it's nice to know that our system works and that we can be helpful to catch individuals who have really taken the life of someone so young. So I just want to say thank you to my colleagues on that.
Thank you, Ms. Gruhl. Mr. Lamont.
Yes, I just want to remind everybody that it's Earth Day celebration out at the Los Angeles Zoo both Saturday and Sunday. And also again, reminding Walk America out at Griffith Park for the March of Dimes for healthy babies. Wendy, I want you to come tomorrow for free in the morning for the walk. And also remind everybody that there's a fundraising campaign for the Bob Hope USO Center at LAX by KNX and K Earth Radio right now, asking all Angelinos to help support the USO at Los Angeles International Airport. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lamont. Let me also remind us, colleagues, and announce to the public that the council meeting for this upcoming Tuesday will begin at a special time at 8:30 a.m. at the regular 10 a.m. time. Next council meeting is Tuesday at 8:30. Other announcements, Mr. Reyes.
Thank you, Council President. A series of openings. This Saturday we're having the Gold Line Rail Station at the Southwest Station to the Southwest Museum. It was designed to be located near this treasure, this landmark. As you know, we are trying our best to preserve the Southwest Museum. And the rail station will be an asset and will be complementing our ability to have a regional impact on our transit issues. So all is invited at the Southwest Museum.
Southwest Museum. Gracias.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Reyes. Other announcements? A lot of activities going on this weekend. Please check the city website for special event information. Members, are there adjourning motions today? If I can ask members of the public to please rise. Please stand for adjourning motions. Ms. Gruhl.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I'm doing this on behalf of Councilmember Bernson to adjourn in memory of Pamela Annette Richard. She passed away on April 22nd, 2003. She's a longtime resident of Granada Hills and a friend of Councilmember Bernson. She attended CSUN, where she obtained a Bachelor of Arts degree and teaching credentials. She worked for the Los Angeles Times as an editorial assistant. She is survived by her husband Jeff, daughters Yvette and Bridget, son Chris, 4 grandchildren, and her brother Michael. So I ask that we adjourn in her memory for Councilmember Bernson.
Thank you, Ms. Gruhl. Ms. Hall.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I would ask that we adjourn our meeting today in the memory of Edna Maese, who passed away April 18th at the age of 69. She was born in Mexico and was a longtime San Pedro and Wilmington resident. Edna was a proud 18-year member of the ILWU, working as a Marine clerk. And she leaves behind 4 daughters, Sue of Wilmington, Liliana of Napa, Darlene of Fort Valley, and Noel of Denver. She also leaves behind 6 grandchildren, 3 great-grandchildren, 3 brothers, and a sister. I attended her services this morning before I came to council, and it was clear by all those who spoke that she was very loved, and she will be missed very much. I also will ask us to adjourn today in the memory of Hector Cepeda Sr., who passed away on April 24th, just yesterday. He was born in El Paso, Texas, in 1933, and he was a 35-year resident and active member of Harbor City. He and his wife, Socorro, had 3 children, Esther, Helen, and many of us know Hector Cepeda Jr. His love for the community and the city of Los Angeles was demonstrated through his participation in various city task force, and he was on one of the founding members of the Harbor City Neighborhood Council. He was a 35-year member and officer of the Longshoremen's Union, ILWU Local 26, and VFW Post 2967 in Wilmington. In 1997, Hector Cepeda Sr. Was so proud to receive the Cesar Chavez Labor Hero Award from the Harry Bridges Institute in recognition of his lifelong commitment to improving the quality of life for his members. He is survived by his wife, Coro, daughters, Esther Cepeda, Helen Yeager, his son Hector, Hector's wife Pilar, and Hector Cepeda, their son, and 3 grandchildren and numerous friends and family. We will miss him very much.
Other tributes? Ms. Perry.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I want to adjourn the memory of Amelia Sandoval. She passed away Wednesday, April the 16th, 2003, after a long fight with cancer. She worked for well over a decade for Pacifico Employment, and she will be greatly missed. I'd also like to adjourn the memory of Ernestine Harris, who is the mother of Lucretia Harris, a young lady who works in my City Hall office. She passed away Tuesday, April 22nd. She was a mother to all who knew her, not only in her children, but the entire block, from what I understand. Funeral services will be held Friday, May the 2nd at 10 a.m. at Victory Baptist Church. She is survived by her son Maurice and 2 daughters, Lucretia and Eureka.
Thank you, Ms. Perry. Other tributes? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Esto terminó.
Thank you all very much. This meeting is adjourned.